as a Tamagotchi.
Yes, well. Anyway. So, we're as gathered as we can be, since Australian Josh has decided to spontaneously combust, as many people do in Australia.
Oh, okay. I said take all his money.
No, you shall not. You're a tech priest, you're sworn to never taking money off people.
That's who?
Somebody should have told me
Says
that.
the Credo Omnissiah, motherfucker.
I thought
Be religious or get out.
I thought the Creed the other side just said, don't make anything new. Ish.
Yeah, sort of. They also said don't go around being a twat, and yet Radius existed. Anyway,
Well, Radius is a tech priest.
moving swiftly on and actually starting this brand new exciting campaign that I'm sure we're all excited exists, I guess is the appropriate term. I couldn't think of a very spontaneous and interesting way of beginning this, so I guess we'll begin it the same way most people do. Basically, and putting into very, very blunt words, the five of you are about as aware pardon my English for being so shit. You're about as aware of each other as a group of classmates would be. I pretty much imagine all five of you have come from a different clique in the same classroom, and now you've all been put for a group task. You're aware of each other's names and who you are. Probably some more than others. For example, the Sororitas is definitely a Sororitas, whereas the Scum looks more like an Imperial civilian who's been given an autogun. That kind of stuff. You know each other enough to have some modicum of opinion of each other, sort of like the whole, oh, him? Oh, yeah, he's growth. Or, yes, that one, he's a pious individual, yet he's kind of below me because I'm more religious than he is.
Yeah, sounds
And that
about right.
kind of stuff.
I was actually hoping to come from the same homeworld and regiment as the arbitrator.
Arbitrators didn't come from regiments, darling.
He's got a guardsman background, as do I.
Well, I'm going to check that because
what it
arbitrators don't start in the Imperial Guard.
If anything, you start as an arbitrator, then go to the Imperial Guard.
So Dylan, I think you're making Porky's because he came from the Middle Hive and he's always been an arbitrator.
He said he was guardsman background. That's why I got shot.
No, I think he's getting the rank confused because his rank is a trooper. That doesn't make him a part of the Imperial Guard, and the Adeptus Arbites don't recruit from the Imperial Guard very often.
Alright, fair enough.
So, unfortunately, no. Even if you did come from the same place, you would, because a regiment of Imperial Guard consists of like 1,000+ troopers, there's little to no way the two of you would have known that much about each other.
True.
But, some of you may be wondering, how did we come to know each other? Well, unlike the previous campaign, this Inquisitor decided to give you about a month's worth of inquisitorial doctrine and training on how to conduct operations. In this sense, you all effectively begin with Secret Tongue Acolyte without actually having the skill because you will never roll the skill. Unless you purposely buy it. And if you do buy it, you would be using it to identify other Acolyte teams that are operating from other Inquisitors and such. But you all effectively have your own use of ciphers that you can use to communicate with each other when you're in public and places like that. You lot would all understand each other, but anyone listening in would think you're speaking gibberish. Which does have its benefits and its drawbacks. I mean, some people... The best you'll have it is people will think you're weird. The worst you'll have it is you'll be arrested for being insane. But as long as you don't go too over the top about how long and how drawn out your sentences are, you should be fine. But yeah, effectively, you've pretty much in the exact same way as the other campaign, you've never met your Inquisitor. You don't know who he is, you've barely seen him. If your character background is that you were recruited directly from your Inquisitor, chances are he was wearing a mask, a hat, a helmet, or something like that to cover his face. And in those instances, you would know that he wears modicum of different armor sets. Like, one of you's seen him in MASH, one of you's seen him in Carapace, if multiple people have seen the Inquisitor. But yeah, effectively you're under orders from an interrogator known as Kane. He's a fairly tall man who well, how tall is he? He's not that tall. He's 5'9", and he walks around usually wearing Carapace armor. And he usually wears Carapace armor in full, so he hasn't revealed his face too often. However, in the instances where you have seen him, he has similar eyes to you, Teresa. The cold steel eyes of a man who knows his shit and has seen too much and not enough at the same time. He's a very pious individual. You find him in one of three places. It's either on the bridge of the ship, in one of the many ecclesiastical holdings on the ship, or wandering to one of those two places. And very rarely into a briefing room, but that's besides the point. Any conversations you've had with him? The best of you, so in this case, Jacob and Teresa would have had very nice conversations with him, usually talking about how great the Emperor is. Geller, he's purposely gone out of his way to ignore you whenever you need something minor. But if you have like a genuine question about a mission or something to do with training, then he does politely listen. Likewise, Daggett and Mordecai. But we begin this story with all of you sat in a briefing room. It's your first time in this room when you're actually getting ready to go into operations. I'm sure one of you would have been punished at some point and told to go and clean this room.
Jella!
Yeah, most likely. But you've all been gathered up and you're all sat around this very cold and steel table. The air conditioning in the room is making it feel colder than it should be, considering.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, they're always playing mind games with the acolytes, aren't they? On some level.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on your interrogator/inquisitor. This interrogator just feels like it's too hot in this room.
Yeah, kid, you're wearing fucking Carapace armor. Take it off.
No way.
If anything, he'll shoot you for talking back at him, Geller. But anyway, you've all just walked in and sat down. Kane is at the other end of the table. He sat there reading over a data slate and nodding to himself a few times as you walk in. He's got his helmet off, so you can actually see his steel eyes staring into the data slate. He's got fairly tan skin, so it seems he's done some field operations since the last time you saw him. And he's got a fairly well-healed scar going from the lower corner of his left eyebrow down to the upper right side of his lip. So it's a fairly big scar. And he sat there, he reads through the data slate, several data slates even, gives them all a nod, and then turns to look at you all as you walk in. And he just, waits for you guys to file in and sit down and whatnot. One thing you do notice is that the arbitrator that you've noticed in the training rooms with you does not appear to be with you at the moment.
Huh.
Meh. I'll just walk out and take a seat.
Yeah.
Me too.
Same.
You don't care with the arbitrator.
Yeah, well, it was fairly obvious that you were all going to go and sit down at least.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna... Okay. If it was someone else, my character would probably actually have his feet up on the table. Considering what interrogators and inquisitors are like, he'll probably be leaning on the table, but not actually that offensively casual about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be giving you a dirty look while you're doing that.
You're getting daggers from Daggett.
I'm just reading.
The sister hates everyone here, so
I'm not paying attention to what
I
they
assume
do.
you apply that, Teresa, to everyone but to the gold-plated pious interrogator who seems to be smiling warmly at you and giving everyone a just sort of cold look. He
Yeah,
actually Aquila signs at you, Teresa. You can see him like do the brief sign for a moment before going back to his data slate.
Oh, great.
He's got a crush on you.
I will do the same back to him.
Aw. Yeah, on that
Also,
page-
also, I will point out, even if he did have a crush on me, all of my sororitas characters are lesbians.
so I have a
Why?
better chance than he does, and I'm a tech
Funnily
priest.
enough,
No,
to you, Teresa,
He has
all
a
of
better
my-
chance because he's
all
not
of my-
a tech beast.
Yeah. Funnily enough, all of my interrogators are Chemgeld, so that works out just fine. Anyway,
I look at him. Greetings, Kane.
he looks up at you. And to you, brother. How have you all been? I trust your stay aboard my ship has been accommodating. He looks around to all of you.
I just simply nod as I'm reading my own data slate.
It's different, at least.
Teresa will nod, but in a kind of quiet tone of voice, it has, sir.
More than. It's better than I could have hoped.
He looks nods at all of your responses. Before saying, right. Well, I'm sure you would know by now that anyone who comes in this room is receiving a mission of some kind from our Lord Inquisitor. It seems it has come to the 5 of you to have your turn. Now, I say 5. One of you is already on mission. We sent him down as an advanced recon force, and he's been feeding us some minor information. He's already sorted out some accommodation for all of you on the planet that you'll be heading to, so you simply need to meet him there. But we'll go into further details once I inform you of where you're going and what you're doing. He then sort of gives a sort of almost pitiful look towards you, Teresa, like he's already apologizing. And he says, well, he pulls up a data slate and looks at it for a moment and then just nods, but kind of sighs at the same time. And he just says, as I'm sure some of you may be aware, some of you may not be, we are currently traveling through the Malthian subsector. We arrived here about 2 weeks ago, to jog your memory. And we are currently en route to the Imperial Forge world of Sinford.
At this, Yellow looks up. Now interested.
Sinford is a fairly prosperous minor forge world within the cohort of planets that exists within this sector, quite close to Malfi. In fact, they supply Malfi's small protectorate every now and then. However, on this planet, something sinister and dark has been going on. Upon Sinford, several minor tech priest personnel were found killed in their accommodation. This would normally be an issue for the Mechanicus itself to resolve. However, we have noticed a pattern in that all of the tech priests who have been killed were working on a new and innovative classified weapon that would be used on the enemies of man. You are to investigate what is killing these tech priests and put a stop to it as quickly as you can. Any documentation you require for going down to a Forge World as members of the Imperium will be provided within reason. You're expected to utilize the training that you've all undergone throughout the past month within the field, and remember the protocols and procedures our Lord has entrusted us to use. During this mission, we expect you to act with some modicum of profession and maturity, especially those among you who are indifferent to those of the Adeptus Mechanicus. And he sort of side glances you, Teresa. Again, giving you that sort of, I'm sorry, look. We also do not have full authority, even as the Inquisition, to make demands at the Mechanicus' domain, nor does our Lord want to worsen relations between them and the rest of the Imperium. At least, that of the Malthian subsector. As such, you will be on your own for a time whilst you are hunting, despite how we expect the mission to take no longer than a few days. Once your mission is complete, locate Astropath Graia, and he will contact us, so shall we be your way off the planet. Now then, I'm sure you're all dying to know that these murders have been taking place in Region 19, District 38T, of one of the minor cities within Sinford. The most recent death was Cyberseer Leonis Machias VI, an up-and-coming Cyberseer of the district, discoverer of the Nanocybus Blood Decontamination Unit. The Cyberseer was a member of the Magos Biologists with a serf cohort of 10. Most of his cohort have been killed by whoever the killer is. Little evidence was found in his office where he was found. We have little other data as to why or how he was killed, as the Mechanicus have not made his death too public. You'll have to find out other details on your own. Brother Jacob has already gone down to the planet and established a small network of a couple of their lesser Denesians, as well as acquired some fairly adequate standard of accommodation, with rooms for each of you. He then looks at you, Geller, and says, I fully expect you to put your duty as a member of the Inquisition before your duty as a part of the Adeptus Mechanicus for this mission.
I nod.
Hope I can expect this of you. And as you nod, he sort of gives you a reassuring smile, like, thank you. Then takes a sip from a small cup of recaf and says, standard documentation for this planet is usually... Geller, I'm not too familiar with Mechanicus documentation and protocol, so I don't suppose you know any on your own? You can roll me a common law machine cult with a +20 if you want to have an idea.
Yep.
Yeah, you know your shit. You've been transferred to several Forge Worlds in your lifetime. Usually, Geller, a tech priest is welcome to move between Forge Worlds at will as long as their residing Magos has authorized it. In this case, your residing Magos would be someone made up or an actual acolyte of this Inquisitor's retinue, as you will most likely have a high-ranking member. The remainder of the party, so Mordecai, Teresa, and Daggett, will... Effectively, Daggett could be going down as one of your personal mercenaries, as some tech priests don't rely on servitors or Skitari if they're moving around the planet and they need a bit more
mobility.
Breathing... Or a bit more ability or breathing room. I mean, Skitari are elite, but they're a bit too logical. So, carrying around someone like Daggett, who's been trained by the military and seems to be good enough to survive, because he's not some young puny kid. He's probably like quite a nasty veteran of the guard, or was.
Like 32.
Yeah, so you'd reckon Daggett's probably got enough military experience to class some Skitari mentally. I mean, physically, a Skitari could wipe the floor with Daggett. No offense, Daggett, but Carapace armor and a chainsword versus no armor and a hunting rifle doesn't usually go well.
Autogun.
Or an autogun, yeah. I forget that you chose the autogun. Jacob, as much as he doesn't have any kind of jurisdiction on a Forge World, arbitrators are still welcome to track their quarry onto a Forge World. It's just they have to go through the bureaucracy of a Forge World's magi to actually continue their operation. That's probably the guys he's gone down as basically what Daggett is, more a bounty hunter. But instead of actually going and taking them back to pay bounty, he's going there because they're a wanted criminal and he's going to kill them.
And then collect the bounty.
Yeah, Mordecai could probably go down as some kind of I would say advisor, but I don't know. If Mordecai can bullshit his way enough to make people believe he's some kind of advisor or seneschal, then that should be fine. Teresa, an ecclesiastical envoy who's accompanying you around and is just kind of there. The Mechanicus, they don't have an outright hatred for the ecclesiarchy. They're just not used to the ecclesiarchy, and it's kind of like... what's the best way of putting it? Imagine someone with purple hair wandering around in downtown China. It's just kind of weird to people. It's more actually, it's like a European wandering around in Beijing. not uncommon on in some places, but if you go down enough alleyways, eventually it'll just be kind of weird. But no one's actively going to go up to Teresa and say, "I'm going to stab you because you're not an omniscient servant." They're just sort of going to keep their distance a bit and typically not interact as much.
If they ask, I'm just saying she's here to support the other three.
Yeah.
Well,
So I assume you're like,
works for me that they stay their distance.
yeah. I'm assuming you're like passing this on to the interrogator as you're like,
Yeah.
just sort of saying stuff like, "Oh, Daggett can be a bodyguard, and Mordecai can be a seneschal, and Teresa can be envoy," such. Luckily for you, most Mechanicus are unaware of how ecclesiarchal envoys look and operate. So, Teresa, you won't be recognized as sororitas. You'll just be recognized as priest. They don't know that priests dress in just robes. They'll believe anything. So the fact that you're wandering around in vestments and carapace is not going to be too weird to them.
Yeah.
It's just, you know. But as you're passing this on to the interrogator, he's nodding and politely listening to how you're passing all this information along. You blah blah blah. Yeah. Eventually, he just sort of gives you a nod, Geller, and looks to the other three and says, "Are all of you all right with this plan to go down under these guises? Any of you prefer something else?"
I'm fine with it.
I'm all right with it. Yeah, I think everyone's all right with it.
Yeah,
One. I shall have our savant prepare some documents. It'll take the remainder of our trip to Sinford. We shall be making orbit. Well, re-orbiting, as we've already dropped off Jacob. We had to go drop off another team on another hive world nearby. Electra, I think it's called. But we shall arrive back in orbit within the next day or two, so make ready for this. For going down here. But I guess any of you have any questions for me before?
I actually have questions on the advanced skills. For my Schola background, do I check box the ones that aren't plus 10 or 20?
Do you mean having common law everything?
Like Scholastic, Common, yeah.
You don't tick them because they're classed as basic skills. You just leave them completely unticked until you buy them, except for Imperial Creed because you start with Imperial Creed.
Okay, because the actual roll was like 15. It was just confusing to me.
Yeah, that's because it's rolling at half your intelligence.
All right.
So it just means instead of having to put like minus half, you just press it, modifiers, and simple as that.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, chances are some of those I probably won't ever make you roll. They're just kind of there because it fits the character. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to make you roll a Scholastic Law Philosophy. That's just kind of there for fluff reasons.
I still have no idea what Performer's Singer is even for, so...
Just sing.
It's for those situations where I'm like, there's a choir going, do you want to join in? You say, hell yeah! And then you go and join in, and then you roll it, and if you roll poorly, people recognize that you're being shit. Whereas if you roll well, they're all like, yes, you join in with this heavenly choir. If anything, you are the choir. These other people can barely harmonize. Harmonize.
I'm a bard. You're right. I'm a bard.
Oh,
it's just this time I'm not a slutty bard. There's the difference.
God damn it! Then you're not a good bard.
You're a heavily armored and well trained bard. You can kill things anyway.
Good.
But anyway, does anyone have any questions for the interrogator before you go?
None.
I do. I want to ask him, is there anyone on the planet who knows that we're coming? Anyone among my brothers and sisters?
He thinks for a moment. The High Fabricator of Sinford is aware that we are operating on the planet. He doesn't know any of you by name or by look. However, he can probably guess if you all show up at the same time. He is a very intelligent man. We don't expect you to ever meet him, as you are operating far from his residence on the Forge World. If you might end up meeting the current Magos in charge, but I don't think you'll ever actively meet the man. However, if you do, the current... And he, like, reads it for a second and then just sort of goes, the Logos of the district is called Logos Calm. He's currently expanding his district as far as he can.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, so a lot of the guys who've been getting killed and whatnot, they're all working on some project, right? Do you have any information on who else is working on this project? Or have they been keeping it even quieter on that with the recent murders?
The Mechanicus has typically been very quiet and has tried to handle this internally. However, the rumors we've heard and the information Jacob has fed us has implied that they're making up complete nonsense. In fact, they're even denying much of it has happened. From what we've gathered, the cohort of 10, as well as the Cybers here, have either taken casualties or have only heard rumors of the others. Out of all 11 of them, we have determined that about 3 or 4 of them are still alive. Anything more, we haven't been able to glean from them yet.
Any idea where the survivors are?
Personally, most likely sticking to their own accommodation under protection from the local enforcement of Sinford. So most likely anyone wandering around or staying within their rooms with large... And he clicks his fingers for a moment. Skitari, I believe they're called. Guarding them.
I'm not really familiar with Skitari.
They are the warriors of the Omnisire. I'm just keeping it simple. They don't know. They don't need to know.
Putting it bluntly,
I'm going to go with walking kill machine.
From the stories I've heard, that is the most accurate way of calling them.
Okay, so don't piss them off.
As long as you remain within... And he looks as though he's about to say Imperial law, but then he reconsiders and says, as long as you remain within the Mechanicus's jurisdiction and ruling, and you do whatever the Mechanicus have, whatever they do as their laws, or have as their laws even.
Do I have to make another check to tell them about the laws, or can I just say I put simple...
With 3.2, the Mechanicus has very basic laws. It's just their version of heresies are different.
Yeah, I would have given them the basic rundown of how their laws work, the basic part.
Yeah, as long as you don't go around murdering, stealing, and generally being a tech heretic, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just don't take apart your autogun and rebuild it as a las gun, because that'll piss them off. Just be normal. Just be weird and you'll be fine.
I say think Imperium, just don't take apart your weapons.
Why do I get the feeling this is still going to go to shit?
Because you're a fucking pessimist.
Yeah, that is actually right.
That is one of her bio traits, yes.
I roll my eyes at you.
Indeed. So the interrogator's looking between the two of you as you're having this conversation and just sort of goes, well, if there are no more questions, you're dismissed to go and do whatever it is you do before you go on a mission.
One question. Any specifics on how these men were killed?
If I knew, I would tell you. Mechanicus has been keeping it quiet, trying to keep public order as best as they can.
Of course. All
Jacob
we really
may
know
know
is they're
more.
dead and where.
Jacob may know more. Our comms have been a bit staticky as we've been away from the planet. He's been down there for about 5 days now. My suggestion would be to go ask him when you get there.
Right.
Now then, if there are no more questions,
None.
he then gestures for you all to leave.
Right.
But as you're leaving, he says, Sister Teresa, may I have a moment?
She nods and goes over to him. What do you require of me?
He looks at you and says, now my lord has briefed me on your associates there. I'm, well, saying I wasn't confident in how well they would do is, it would just be unfair. However, considering their past lives, be on the lookout for anything that could happen.
As you wish, sir. And she will give him the Aquila symbol and ask, is there anything else?
That is all.
Very well. And she will leave.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, I assume you will head back to whatever it is you were doing before this meeting happened, which is probably a variety of activities, such as sitting in your room moping about how you want to go home and that you wish this wasn't happening, to praying at either an altar or a machine.
I'm looking at the ship's engine. 1 second, you guys.
Sure thing.
I'm overlooking my weapons first and my armor, making sure they're actually decent enough, and then I will offer prayers to the God Emperor.
Yeah. So you begin to pray and basically feel good about yourself for a little while.
Yeah.
Daggett and Mordecai, what are the two of you doing?
Probably just relaxing in my room, because not much else to do.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm down in the, what do they call them, combat pits or whatever, training as my tactical prayer.
Yeah, there's probably a small area that you can go and practice.
Just
it's probably on.
Like they have one on every fucking ship, so.
Yeah, on this ship, it's effectively a small room where you fight some very toned down servitors that have got basic combat routines. They're designed to stun and cause fatigue, not damage. And any fatigue you would gain is immediately gone by the fact that you won't do anything more for like a day or two, and it all recovers.
Yeah.
So you just go and practice and hone your skills a bit and get ready.
I'm back, and we have a new kitten.
While muttering prayers from the Imperial Primer as I fight.
Right. Yeah. So a few days go by, with the ship slowly drifting through space, making its way back towards this Forge world. Before eventually, you feel the ship. Actually, no, none of you are Voidborn, so you probably wouldn't notice. But eventually, all of you start with microbeads, by the way. It's not some gear you have to go and religiously try and find to buy. You all have common quality microbeads.
Yeah.
And effectively, all four of your microbeads go off, and you get a very automated voice saying, please come to Cargo Bay C. I assume you will make your way there.
Yep.
Unless you're very adamant about not going, in which case the interrogator shoots you. But yeah, you will make your way down there. When you get there, you notice, probably to some of your, I would say dismay, but it's not really dismay. It's more just, oh look, a ship. Geller, you see a Mechanicus class of ship. It's more of like a shuttle, if anything. It's a small ship-to-air shuttle that's adorned with like Mechanicus iconography and has a couple of side weaponry on it,
I smile
just in
a little.
case.
I smile a little.
But yeah, you will then get on board. One thing you do notice is that the crew of this ship is a pair of servitors that have been basically implanted into the shuttle, and they will be your pilots. But you all go in, take your seats at the sides of the bay, or the cabin even. Harnesses come down, lock you in place. The ramp then closes. A pair of lights turn on, which is almost a bit too bright as it's very sudden from the darkness that you were left in for a couple of seconds. But yeah, eventually you feel the ship take off and starts making its descent down to the Forge World. And the trip takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay.
And you've all been given documentation confirming that of who you are from what Geller said. So Daggett, you've been classed as a fairly elite kind of mercenary that's accompanying Geller wherever she goes. Geller, you've been... Yeah. Same thing in this universe, sadly. Geller, you've been classed as a tech priest that's been effectively transferred from, I don't know, somewhere else in this sector. I'm going to have a look to see. Mordecai, you've been classed as basically a seneschal. And if anyone asks why a tech priest has a seneschal, basically the planet you come from has them. So if anyone asks questions, the simple answer is that of which you would find in a in the Helsing Abridged. Fuck you, that's why. Effectively,
I do the things that are beneath me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually a fairly close by transfer, Geller. You're coming from the Forge World JX MA1 JX MA18Z. So that's your quote-unquote planet of origin for this. If anyone asks any questions, I will type it into the chat so that you can either make a note or just have it there. I put H, not J. There you go.
Well, you're British, so H's are J's.
Yeah, well, you know. And finally, Teresa, you've been classed as an ecclesiarchal envoy from one of the nearby planets. If anyone asks why you're wearing armor, you were transferred from Kaluf, which is a war world nearby. If anything, Sinford and JX, I'm just going to say JX, have been supplying gear to Kaluf.
Wicked.
Yeah, it's fairly nice. I don't know where any of your sector or any of your origins are actually from within the Calixis sector, and nor does it really matter. Unless any of you are from the Malthian subsector, I don't suppose any of you have fluffed it to be this place as your home.
Nope.
No.
I haven't even chose my world yet.
I was going to say Jacob came from Scintilla itself, so he's literally a male, slightly stupider version of Amber.
Yeah, my homeworld is Skola, so...
Yeah, your homeworld is Scholar Progengium, so you're from one of the schools on one of the other planets. Probably a shrine world, considering you're a sororitas, so you're probably from the sector below it.
You know what? Fuck it. She's from Ophelia 7. Because I like that world.
Fair enough. I can hear you trying not to laugh. It's glorious. Anyway. But yeah. By the sounds of things, you're all going down in complete silence. None of you are talking to each other. You're not even going to try and discuss anything. Nope. These are the people I'm working with. I don't care.
I'm just muttering a prayer to the machine spirit. I'm asking the ship machine spirit to not fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa will just scoff at that.
And Daggett will sit quietly in the shadows.
Daggett's paying attention to the prayer. Intrigued by it.
So you got one person who's intrigued by you, Geller, one person who's pissed off at you, Geller, and one person who's just giving you an awkward thumbs up every 5 minutes. Everything's going great thus far.
Yep.
God damn, this woman's a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is going to end up just like last time, I swear.
Oh no, I
the tech priest versus everyone.
Yeah, but I decided if someone gets himself into trouble when they may get executed, I'm just gonna let them die. Cause that will fuck us over. I tried to save everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, eventually you will feel the ship shaking and juddering slightly as it breaks into atmosphere. And it smoothens out a little bit after a while as you get more into the planet. Eventually the ship lands somewhere. I mean, it's quite hard to see out it's quite hard to see through solid metal. But eventually you will land. Your harnesses raise to let you stand up. The interior lights turn off, and the boarding ramp opens up again. When you get outside, you notice it's very lightly raining, which is kind of strange for Forge World, considering everything's mechanical and electrical, but it's raining. You can't control the weather on some planets.
I'm kind of confused by this. My homeworld didn't have rain. What is this?
Yeah, this planet does. When the ramp does open up, all of your senses, probably Barkella's, because she's Forge World, used to this kind of thing, and maybe if you're from a Hive world, it might not affect you as much. But your senses are immediately bombarded and full on assaulted by the smell of just pollution, wet metal, something burning as well that's nearby. All you can hear is the sound of the shuttle's engines blasting into your ears, not literally, as well as the sounds of forges churning out this pollution as normal, as well as whatever they're creating. Also the sounds of like buzzing and whirling as a variety of different cyber familiars fly by. I didn't turn the music on, so I will. And yeah, you're in a fairly small spaceport where you've got your shuttle and a few others that are beginning to either take off or land as well, dropping off cargo of like other servitors as well as the odd tech priest here and there. Usually tech priests are relatively rare, but because you're on a Forge world, they're a dime a dozen. They're fucking everywhere. So, Geller, you're immediately greeted by the sights of several of your brothers and sisters who are all walking around, making idle chit-chat with each other. You've got a pair of Skitari that are wandering around and generally patrolling the area. You've got a few Reclamators that are following up behind, or Reclamators, as they're following behind their tech priest overlords. And just sort of generally idly wandering around and talking to each other and making their exit or entrance to this spaceport. It's an open-topped spaceport, hence why there's rain coming down on top of you. And you're effectively... imagine you just landed in the middle of, like, a circular theatre. So those of you who have done history, specifically British history, imagine you've just landed in the middle of the Globe Theatre. So... yeah, fairly looks like that. Except instead of there being, or like a coliseum, if you don't know what that is, but instead of there being stands of crowds cheering and whatnot, you've got idle gun servitors constantly scanning and keeping a watch on anyone who lands within this place, all of which look old but still functioning. The machine spirits haven't given out yet, and nor will they for some time.
Good.
And
as you all...
I'm pretty sure that any Mechanicus will get them up and running within the hour.
It'll take no time at all. As the four of you are beginning to walk down the ramp and surveying your surroundings, getting a feel for this planet and having your senses bombarded by a variety of smells, sights, and sounds that are almost alien to you guys. Except Geller, this is home. Kind of reminds you of home, except rainy.
Yeah, more wet.
Yeah, pretty much imagine living in like Central America and then traveling north. It's sort of different, but it depends. But yeah, as you walk down, look around a bit, you notice you feel the ground like shake slightly as this basically 7 feet tall walking block of metal and like. Basically, metal, guns, and a bit of human begins to walk up to the four of you. He looks between all of you for a moment. Geller, you would definitely recognize this as a Secutor. Basically, the thing Dylan wanted to be back when he was Radius. Pretty much imagine a big... Well, you know that a Secutor is a big walking block of metal and guns. And basically, they are the... imagine a redemptionist except Mechanicus, and that's pretty much what you're looking at. Except they're a bit more calm and logical rather than outright crazy. He scans, or seems to be scanning each of you before looking at you, Geller. And he proceeds to say in binary or secret tongue tech, he looks at you and says, purpose for landing on planet.
I hand him the paper.
Yeah, he takes it in his sort of when he outstretches his hand, you notice his fingers are sort of like sharpened, so he has talons rather than fingers, and his hand is just imagine the hand of a Terminator, like one of the old models, a T100, and it's fully mechanical. You can see all of the joints moving backwards as his fingers outstretch and moving forwards as they clench again. He takes the data slate from you, scans through it in no time at all, hands it back to you. Your data slate had everyone else's IDs on it, obviously, for the sake of time. He scans it, hands it back to you, nods, and then basically goes into what you would only understand as a tech priest going into standard inquiry. So he stands there waiting in case you have any questions, like where to go, who to go see, etc.
Will the Inquisitor have told of where the resident, what's his face, got for us?
He wouldn't have told you the exact place, but he just said, well, he didn't actually tell you anything, really. He more or less just said, go and look around Region 19, District 38T until you find an arbitrator, and he's your man. Yeah, I mean, you know what Jacob looks like.
I will just ask for direction to that region or sector of the city, I guess.
Sure. So rather than telling you anything, he just moves his robe, his Mechanicus robe, back a little bit, and you notice a servo skull unhinges itself from his utility belt, flies up, stares at the Secutor for a moment. The Secutor then speaks in binary at it. Geller, from what you're gathering, he's basically telling it pretty much what you asked. So he's saying Region 19, District 38T, escort, then return. And he turns and looks at you and says, he looks at you for a moment and says, follow unit Alpha 19.
I know.
And he gestures to the service skull. When you look at the service skull, along the side of its head, on one side you notice the scientific symbol for Alpha. Can't for the life of me remember what that is now, but that's what's on one side. The other side, written in Roman numerals, is 19. So XV 11111. Or X. No, it would actually be X1X. But yeah, anyway, or something like that. And yeah, the service skull then just proceeds to start hovering away. But anytime it gets too far away from you, it stops, turns, and waits for you guys to catch up to it.
Yeah, I just tell the route to follow and keep pace.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, what's happened? Yeah. Okay. I assume all of you are keeping pace.
Yeah. I won't touch this service.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, what else are you gonna do?
Did the service skull have any little pinchers or anything?
The servo skull, no, it doesn't appear to have any kind of mandibles or tentacles or anything like that on it.
Okay.
It seems to just be the upper part of a skull with a lot of cybernetics implanted into the bottom of it.
Okay then. Just thought I asked.
It's a monotask skull, so its pure function is to basically give directions to people. Its sole function is to escort you to a certain place and then turn and go back.
I'm assuming it's an optical based one. Oh.
It's more of a navigation type.
Oh, okay.
So if you had it, it would give you +20 to navigation surface tests. But in this case, it's just taking you somewhere. Following it, it takes you out of the spaceport and into a fairly busy exterior where you can see tech priests are moving around, guiding servitors to different places. Bits of it is under construction. still. Not the spaceport itself, but the surrounding buildings are still being... Some of them are being built up, some of them are being demolished to be replaced with something else. General retrofits, you're used to this kind of thing. You then proceed to continue following it down several streets. If any of you have seen Futurama, imagine the pure robot planet. And that's pretty much what you're seeing. It's fairly dark. Every building is exactly the same size. And the exact same, like, measurements have been made to create these buildings. Everything's methodical, everything's the same.
Everything's cookie cut.
Yeah, everything is calculated to the exact point to where everything will be the exact same distance away from each other, no matter what. Mechanica society is one hell of a society to live in, where if you don't fit into your place, you will be removed and replaced.
I just imagine I'm able to follow these very precise, sharp turns and lines, while everyone else is just like bumping into people or running into walls, getting confused.
Yeah. As long as they stay by you, it should be fine. But yeah, wandering through this place, you see a mixture of people who are, well, people, of a variety of different ranks. Geller, you would identify these people as fairly menial workers, so no higher than like an engineer or a tech priest itself. Each accompanied by either reclamators, who are like scavengers and general repairmen, or servitors, who are that but better, and they don't scavenge. Yeah, they're all wandering around in very methodical, on like very methodical parts, very calculated routes. They actively, the annoying thing is that they wouldn't actually get out of your way if you're walking towards them and they're walking towards you. They'll expect you to move out of their way because they have a set path that they're going to follow. The tech priests and reclamators will move, but servitors, they don't know how to move out of the way of things. So we can imagine like a funny scene of like, I don't know, Mordecai, Dagner, or Teresa just sort of walking alongside Geller, and then suddenly a servitor is just walking into you.
And it's kind of Kimnatsu. Just keeps walking, and you're just stuck in front of it.
Yeah, it will effectively wait until the obstruction in its path has been moved. But yeah, the crowds aren't that busy where, you know, that's actually going to happen. It's just something that would have been funny if it did.
So to stop a servitor, I just need to drop a tin can in front of it?
No, it'd have to be something the size of a person or a crate. Okay. If you got a like 2 feet by 2 feet crate or box and put it in front of a servitor, it wouldn't know how to move around it. it would have to pass an intelligence test to figure out to reroute itself to go round this crate.
The one time I never play a troll character.
Noted.
I don't think they have the intelligence to pass such a check.
They do. It's just very, very low.
They can. If we use the 2nd edition thing where a roll of 5 and under is always a success, anything can pass anything in this game.
Yeah. I'm just waiting.
I see.
But again, this is 1st edition.
Yeah. So
I think a servitor's intelligence is like 10.
Yeah, so I said keep that noted for combat. When servitors charge at me, throw a box in front of it.
Oh, combat servitors, throwing a box in front of a combat servitor, they'll just cleave through the box and come at you. They have basic combat routines. A utility servitor, I mean, if a utility servitor's set to combat, then it will still try to kill you, but a regular servitor will just have this box in front of it, and then it'll either get a command relayed through it to pick up the crate and move it, or it will just go round it.
Aww.
It's just if it's on its own and it's trying to figure something out and it's too far away from its master, then it's going to be like, what the fuck do I do? There's this small 1 foot by 1 foot crate in front of me and I don't know what to do about it.
Maybe that's what I used to do as a kid. I would take blades of grass or sticks and put it in front of those long lines of ants in my backyard. And I would just watch how half the ants would get stuck and like looking around like, what the fuck do we do? What the fuck do we do?
Yeah, it's kind of like
that. Sounds amusing.
I was an asshole, and I still am.
I'm an asshole. I mean, look at me. I'm GMing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So moving through these streets, eventually you almost cross a threshold, as when you enter into this street, all the calm, sort of people moving around, minding their own business, turns to immediate, like, everyone looks kind of paranoid and a bit anxious at the presence of all of you. And each other. They're, like, looking around constantly, watching up, down, behind them, left, right, etc. They look like, it looks like the murders that have happened in this district have affected the entire, like, populace of the district. Like, everyone is on edge.
I could probably drop, like, I don't know, a can or a crate or something and freak everybody out. They're so on edge, right?
Yeah, if you drop something heavy on the floor and it made a loud thud, people would probably draw their weapons and start getting ready to shoot, but they would soon realize that it's just you dropping a crate and being an arsehole. And they'd be like, oh, okay.
Shoot him! He's not a Mechanicus member. We can do it.
But yeah, anyway. Once you enter into this district, almost the second you cross this threshold, the service skull just stops, turns to you, Geller, repeats a thing in binary, it says in binary, destination reached, and then it proceeds to fly off, like heading back home.
Well, seems like we're in the right place. Now we must find our fellow member. So I guess how shall we proceed?
I immediately look around when she says that.
Yeah.
Can we spot what I presume is to be a bumbly arbitrator talking to a wall?
Or you can roll an awareness test. You can roll an awareness test. No modifiers.
Actually, awareness. That's me.
There would be modifiers for there being a large crowd, but because you're spotting someone obvious, you know.
I'm getting a +10 for heightened senses sight though.
Fair enough.
I can't see a thing.
Nah.
None of us can see
Nothing. All of you are looking around like, what the damn, this man is elusive. Whereas Teresa, you notice leaning against a wall, sort of a bit back down the street, you notice there's a man who's clearly not a member of the Mechanicus, wearing an arbitrator's uniform, leaning against a wall, just sort of looking around. People are giving him a bit of a wide berth, because he seems to be freaking out the populace at the same time as just sort of being there. But he seems completely clueless. He's just looking around like, yeah, I'm an arbitrator, la la la.
I will motion to the others and just point to him there. And then I will head on over.
Wait, how will I address Teresa? Will I say Teresa or will I say sister?
You're a member of the Mechanicus, not the Ministerium. You have no fucking idea.
I don't know. Fuck it, I'll just call you Teresa.
Yeah. She would probably demand that you call her sister because she fucking hates you. Because you're not ecclesiarch. She doesn't like you.
She starts off with a very negative disposition towards you. I wouldn't quite go as far as hate, but very negative disposition.
Alex, can we have that bond between me and Sister Teresa?
No.
No,
X doesn't trust X because they're not a part of the same faith.
Yes, can we have that?
No.
You can just say you have it if you want. You just won't get any XP if you solve it, but you could certainly claim that you are.
Then what's the point of having it then?
Well, we can work towards it.
Okay.
You can work towards fixing it, and then if you roleplay it well, then yeah.
Okay, fine.
Oh no, I'd say you can work towards having it, because it seems like you guys are going to keep going a bad direction for a little while here.
My character honestly just didn't care about a single one of you, so okay.
At least not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. Wait 2 weeks and maybe we can have drinks.
Everyone is a fucking dick in this. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. You should have been here with the last campaign. Oh boy. Anyway, the party was literally pulling their guns at each other before the game even started properly. It was golden. They didn't even get off Scintilla where they were all being briefed, and the cleric was already having a sidearm out and getting ready to shoot the fucking text. It was golden. Anyway, good to see we have some modicum of calm and controlled nature within the sororitas party member.
That's
At least
only,
for now.
That's only a legend among the Mechanica about the one named Raid. He is nothing more than a legend to us. He
Actually,
never
Brad.
exists.
He's probably more of a legend on other parts of the subsector, as your party operated on the other side of the Calixus sector, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're getting off topic. Anyway, you walk up to your illustrious arbitrator, who I'm going to roll to see if he sees you coming. He doesn't have anything like paranoia or anything ridiculous like that. No, he doesn't see you coming. But you walk up next to him, tap him on the shoulder or somehow get his attention. He turns and sort of like, he like jumps very suddenly, like, oh god. You notice his hand goes to like leech around to grab his shotgun, but he sees it's you guys and is like, oh, hey.
Right.
I just want everyone to know I'm going to be playing his character as the most indecisive bastard who has no modicum of personality, because I have no idea how Joss was intending on playing this guy.
I think he was intending on playing him as an idiot. Anyways, who's our face? Who's our face? Who's doing all the talking this time?
Yeah, I think he was planning on being a lawful good idiot.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Zinrick.
God.
He just looks at the four of you and just goes, oh hey, what time you got?
Nice to meet you. I'm Daggett.
Good to see you again, Daggett. I think we've met. I remember you from the ship. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't remember a lot.
This is Gela, Mordecai, and Sister Teresa.
Yeah, I know who you all are. We trained together, remember?
Do you remember?
He like tilts his head at you, Daggett, like, okay, and then just sort of shrugs and goes, whatever. I got some accommodation. Wasn't too hard to do. I mean, it's a servitor. I pretty much just went in and, as an arbitrator, demanded they give me keys to some rooms, and well, we have keys to some rooms.
Wonderful.
Yeah, come on in. I'll show you the rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, he leads the four of you inside, unless you want to go and do something else.
Yeah,
Nah.
might as well go in.
Yeah, we're going.
I was gonna say, you're all wandering around heavily armed. No wonder the people of the city are paranoid as fuck.
Not heavily armed. I've just got a friggin' laser pistol.
I got my
Yeah,
whooping
but
stick.
two of your party members have auto guns, and Geller's carrying around a las carbine.
With a
So-
whooping
I'd
stick.
probably have a
Wish I had an
for
auto
right
gun.
now. I'd probably have my auto gun in a bag to at least keep it out
Yeah,
of
like a double
sight.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auto pistol is totally out though. The
Yeah,
holster,
as weapons are allowed to be carried on Forge Worlds. I mean, there's no problem against it. It's just if you're going to go around shooting people, you better have a fucking good reason. As murder is still a... it's usually... Oh, it's known as a law on every other planet. On this planet, everything's either a heresy or not. killing someone just because you can is classed as a minor heresy of insanity, so you're usually exiled or just flat killed.
No, I'll be exiled. They'll be flat killed.
Yeah, Geller, you're susceptible to being turned into a servitor and exiled. The rest of the party is susceptible to being killed or thrown off the planet. Literally. A Titan picks you up and throws you off the planet.
Aw.
I thought they
Well, there
shoot
goes
you
there
after
goes my
one.
plans for Repentia.
Yeah. But anyway,
This is online.
Yes.
he's online. That will save my ass.
Yeah, no, my weapons
Means that-
are all out. I've got my auto gun on a 2-point strap over my shoulder, military style.
Yeah.
Guardsman sergeant sword on my hip, knife on my belt, compact las pistol on a drop leg holster.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty
That was
fucking
one thing. That was one thing I wanted to discuss with you, Dylan. did you actually want the black body glove, or do you want to say that you have a effectively a poor quality military uniform?
I was gonna say worn military, poor quality pants, boots,
Worn.
but I could be wearing the body glove, like top and arms. I don't know. Yeah, let's go poor quality military uniform.
Yeah, just say you've got military, because your backstory doesn't really make sense if you're wandering around in a black body glove, so I just assumed military suit sounds better.
Cool. I was wondering about that myself. Alright, we're good.
Yeah. But anyway, so you're all led inside of this. Well, you're all led inside of this hablock. Again, it's the exact same size, shape, and diameter, and perimeter, and all that good mathematical shit that I don't know anything about as the other hablocks that are around you. The only difference between this hablock and any of the others is the fact that its name isn't like. Its name is something like. Well, it's effectively the region number, the district number, and then the hablock number. So it's 1938T-71. And then there's some string of binary which Geller reads as habitation block 71 or whatever. But yeah, you're led inside by Jacob, who walks by the servitor and just gives the servitor a nod. The servitor is just standing completely motionless, just unblinking, doesn't even acknowledge that the five of you have walked in, or it might have. It's kind of hard to tell. And it's just staring blankly at the door, just waiting for someone to walk up and request a room. But yeah, you then all follow Jacob up several sets of stairs that are all very methodical and exactly the same. Geller, if you bothered to keep count, you climb up 60 steps exactly. And then you reach like the 4th floor or something like that. You go down the corridor for a little bit. He then gestures to 4 other rooms, standing outside of a 5th one. He passes a key card to each of you and says, well, these are our rooms. They're a bit bland, a bit boring, a bit empty, a bit small. But it's home. And he opens his room and goes inside. Assume you all go and do the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
To whatever the rooms you've been given. Entering into the rooms, your opinions of the room will differ depending on your disposition towards the Mechanicus. Geller, you walk in, it's a fairly standard room to you. It's just, oh look, it's a room. I can live with this. To the rest of you though, imagine sleeping in a closet. That's basically what you've got. It's a very small room, about 10 feet by 8 feet. There's a bed and a desk. And that's it. You have a bed and a desk, and maybe a stool that's been nailed to the floor.
Such
Together,
luxury.
this is fine. Together, this is fine. To the rest of you, this is just, oh, okay. There's a single light source in the roof. The bed is steel, with a mattress that looks like it was leaning against the wall, and it seems Jacob went into each of your rooms and placed the bed on there. Teresa, don't mind the stains. Geller?
I'm not laying on that bed then.
I'm joking, obviously. And yeah, pretty much, you don't have a duvet. You don't have a blanket. You don't even have pillows. You don't even have a bed sheet. It's literally just a duvet that's been shoved over a metal table that's built into like one of the walls. Like, it's going to be horribly uncomfortable to those of you who are used to living on this kind of thing. I mean, Mordecai, I don't really know what part of the hive if you even came from. No, you came from Sinofia, so this is probably sort of home to you. A bit better. Since Sinofia is a decaying society, you're probably used to living in on planet Fallout, so this is sort of average.
Yeah.
This is like normal for me, hell.
Yeah,
Probably tried to get off as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, luckily your interrogator said this is probably only going to take you a few days to do this operation. Yeah. Let's hope he was right.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be. Anyway.
Honestly, this is probably looking better than what I usually would have on Tanofa, but still, it's not exactly great.
About the same as my room back at the convent.
Yeah,
Just
it's just
tech
there's usually an altar to the emperor, and there's usually a closet or a wardrobe that you can store your stuff in. But instead, you've got a desk, a stool that's implanted into the floor, and a bed. And when I say a bed, I literally mean like a rectangle has been pushed out of the wall, and someone's put a duvet, not duvet, someone's put a
Pad on it.
fucking yeah, like padding on it, so that you're not sleeping on flat metal. Geller, you're fully welcome to take that off if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you're still somewhat human.
Yeah.
So
Not yet. Soon I'll have my steel bed.
about rank 6 is when you'll have some kind of implant that allows you to just recharge, but for now you need sleep like everyone else.
Of course, we just thought, okay, when they open up the doors, it's just like a 2 feet by 8 feet closet they just kind of wiggled themselves into.
Yeah.
I mean, for a second you said like closet, and I thought it was like Robot Arms apartment style.
Oh, that would have been better. That would have been much better.
No, that's for actual tech priests. This is like the reclamators accommodation area. Well, this tab block is for reclamators to sleep in. A reclamator is basically a scavenger in Mechanicus robes, and given laser weapons rather than walking around with some shitty pistol in torn clothing. They're effectively the thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon probably millions of people wearing red robes that you would see around that aren't redemptionists or flat tech priests. Pretty much imagine them as like an industrial worker from the Imperium. They're a dime a dozen, expendable, easily replaced, and half of them are criminals. Literally, because you have to be the scum class to become a reclamator. Anyway. Yeah, your accommodation is as I've described. I now leave it to all of you to go and do stuff. Great start, guys. Great start.
All right, I'm gonna go room by room, checking in on everybody, seeing how they liked their accommodations, and assembling us for a meeting.
Yeah, Teresa will just say, "I've had worse," and we'll get up and follow him.
Yeah, I'll just go with him as well.
I'm just following hell. If I have nothing to do in this room, I shall follow.
Yeah, I think everyone's following you, Daggett.
Daggett, you're the group more or less leader this time. Don't take us to the underhive.
A scum is the leader.
So, let's go. I'm not a scum. I'm an assassin.
Oh. Who the fuck's the scum then?
Mordecai.
Me.
Mordecai.
Oh, no. Well, that's good. I was
They have pretty
confused.
high fellowship, so don't worry, dude.
And if you take us to the underhive, I will shoot you. Fucking hell.
So, guys,
Luckily, there is no underhive on a Forge world. There's just a part where reclamators go to hang out, and it's quite dangerous.
So we aboard the ship. We discussed potentially interviewing the 3 or 4 survivors of those 11 casualties. Gela, would you care to lead us to where you believe they would be held? Or where we could find some information on that, perhaps? Unless anyone else has any better ideas.
I'm thinking for a second. What kind of role will I have to make to try to figure out either where they may live or where they may work at? Because they're probably at one of those 2 places with armed guards.
It would.
We were told they were under protection.
It'd probably be inquiry.
Yeah, you would have to basically like go out and do an inquiry, or you can do like. No, yeah, it would just be inquiry. You'd have to go outside and do an inquiry, which I think Jacob does have the inquiry skill. Should do. He's an arbitrator. Yes, he has 27 in inquiry, so that's gonna go great, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Better than I have.
Much better than I have. I only have...
I think it's about Same for Daggett and Mordecai.
We have 31 fellowship. Someone has to do with this shit. But I'll do my best.
I have inquiry trained. I'm at 43.
Oh, thank God.
You do it.
Yes, you.
So yeah, how? Oh God, no.
Shit, dude.
You rolled a 92, so it wasn't quite a crit failure. You go outside and you start trying to ask like tech priests and servitors, like where to go. The tech priests ignore you. The servitors, you get in their way and they just sort of stand there, emotionlessly staring at you, waiting for you to move.
Contemplating the
And
existence
if
of
you
life.
don't, and you just repetitively ask it questions, eventually, like you get tapped on the shoulder and a tech priest is staring at you. You get the feeling he's looking directly into your soul, and he's just boring down on you, and he just says, "Move out of the way." And then I assume you move out of his way, and the servitor just continues trudging forwards, and the tech priest just gives you a final scowl and then continues walking off. You're not very appealing to tech priests, unfortunately.
Oh God.
I mean, you get a small modicum of respect for being in their opinion, being a guardsman, but unfortunately, these people respect Skatari more than you. So,
It's understandable.
And the only people who know about us was the
High Fabricator, and he's not exactly in this part of the Forge world, and you're going to have to travel a very long way, get a lot of paperwork, and probably use your inquisitorial authorization to get through.
yeah.
And
Why
at that
don't you-
point, you don't actually
why-
have that authorization.
Does Gela have he's a tech priest, ain't he? Why doesn't he ask around?
I have an
this-
inquiry of 15.
You're
would
also a
get-
tech
would-
priest.
You would get bonuses for communing with your own brothers and sisters, and if you inquire some servitors, then you get a further +10 for binary chatter.
Fine, I guess I'll go ask like the equivalent of like a security cam servitor.
An optical servitor.
Yes, or something like that.
So total bonus is
If you're talking to an optical servitor, it's on duty, but meh. You'd be at +30 with the binary chatter as well. So that's your total.
hey, see,
Okay.
that's good. That's bad.
You failed harder than Dylan did.
No, I didn't. I got.
See? Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, but you
that's
had
why I said harder.
bonuses.
You had bonuses. I say you failed harder because he rolled 92, you rolled 94. You were
I'm
one off
I'm
one off a critical failure.
I'm gonna
You're one
use-
off the servitor trying to strangle you.
I'm going to use a 5.3 roll that. Because I'm not going to crit fail and get murdered on episode 1 by a servitor.
Yeah, it's not a wise career path.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much.
Okay. You failed, but not as badly. So you're asking it a bunch of questions, and it's just giving you this stone wolf face, just staring at you. Well, it's normal eye is staring at you, whereas its optical, like, sensor is still, like, turning, or its pict recorder is still, like, turning around and recording the events of the streets behind you. And you get barely any responses from it. The most you get is, like, an annoyed grunt. And even then, it doesn't sound like too emotional. It's just kind of a
Turns out I afford it a little. Oh god. Shit. Well, we don't even know where the murder locations took place at.
I am half tempted to roll inquiry myself, but I know I will fail.
You
we're
could.
all just gonna ring.
You know what? I'm probably gonna screw up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Wasn't a
Yeah.
95 or above, so it's just a very big fail. Teresa, you're an ecclesiarch. No one wants to talk to you.
can I
Fuck all them.
try?
They're respectively trying to ignore you. Mordecai, you're welcome to try.
Please
Any
roll.
bonuses or penalties?
No. They all outweigh each other. So close yet so far.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a fate point.
How many
I'm
fate
gonna,
points
I'm gonna
do
see.
you
I'm
have?
gonna see if Jacob can get it beforehand.
We are not asking the right questions,
Nope.
apparently.
We don't know how to...
Everyone's just ignoring you on purpose because they're like, no, please no.
Amber, where
Leave me
are
alone.
you? We need you. She was a good Inquirer. She was decent.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly. Mordecai, since you failed, like the least, with the fewest degrees of failure, you
That was
get,
untrained.
you get some information, just not exactly good information. Like, you ask stuff like, well, yeah, what do you ask, actually?
I don't know.
Where do you
I
take
stepped away. I stepped away at a bad time, and I'm not quite sure what.
We're asking
Exactly.
where the murder are or where the survivors are.
Yeah, I'll
Speaking-
ask that.
Speaking of which, I'll be back in a second.
Wait,
guys.
no, hold on.
Alright.
Wait, do we? This is a suppressed information, is it not?
It's very suppressed information.
Then how the heck would I know? Then no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
It's suppressed to prevent everyone who isn't on the planet. The planet knows, just not everyone else.
More
Yeah,
accurately, the
everyone
surrounding districts know,
Yeah, well,
and the
surrounding
high
districts.
the high fabricator general would know, but
So I'm going to. Can I just not do that check then?
sure, you can negate that you ever went and asked questions. So yeah, you go around asking a whole bunch of, like, the rest of you go around asking questions like, hey, do you know where any of this happened? And oh, 07, okay. Yeah, so as you're like asking questions, which of you failed the hardest? Teresa did. Teresa, you get a, like, you feel someone tap you on the shoulder, a very metallic hand tapping you on the shoulder from behind you. Wait, he's not here. Fuck. Okay. Very, very poor choice of words. So I guess, can the three of you roll me an awareness test, and I'll roll one for Jacob as well.
Oh shit.
Visual or audio?
Visual, so yeah, you get your little +10 or whatever. Holy shit, he rolled something.
I can't see shit. I have a hood on.
Oh god, you all failed but Jacob. What did he even roll? I don't even know what he rolled. Oh, he rolled a 3. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, so you're all doing your little inquiries or whatever. Teresa gets tapped on the shoulder, and Jacob, like, voxes the three of you and says, it would appear our sister is being disrupted by something. Something big metal and carrying a gun of some kind.
Yeah, fuck. That's a lot of things, but go check it out anyways. Assuming it's one of two.
I'm going to go at least get line of sight, but I'm probably not going to intervene unless I'm going to keep my distance.
So when you all turn to see what's disrupting Teresa on her merry way, most of you, Mordecai, you see one of the giant metal kill machines that you remember talking about earlier on the ship. Geller, you see a pair of Skitari armed with some kind of shotgun. One of which is tapping Teresa on the shoulder. The other just seems to be stood a bit behind him, looking around, basically.
Oh god, they're pissed.
It's kind of hard to tell emotion on a robot.
I'm going to assume that they're generally pissed, but they're unmotivated to do any harm at the moment.
If they are,
Yeah.
if they are bound to the Mechanicum properly. If they're bound to something else, then we're
Well,
fucked.
they're not going to kill Teresa just yet. I'm going to ask her some questions first when he comes back.
Okay, I'm back. So
I'm gonna maintain
Okay,
line
Teresa.
of sight from this
Yeah.
and slink away a bit.
Yeah, Teresa, you feel very metal, heavy hand, like, tapping you on your shoulder. Like, twice. As you're doing your inquiries.
yes.
Turn around. You notice a 6-foot dead, like, armored, what you would imagine is a Skitari, as Geller described them, holding some kind of shotgun. Another one, exactly the same, looking behind him. For anyone wondering, just Google an image of a Skitarii Vanguard, and that's pretty much what you're looking at. And he's staring at you, Teresa. I think he's very much taller than you if he's 6 foot. I think you're only 5'6", so he's like 5 inches taller than you, 6 inches.
Yeah.
He stares down at you and just says, the questions you are asking, they are inappropriate for this district. Please come with me.
Oh, wonderful. I suppose I have little choice.
I'm
No, you do not.
Say again. You cut out a little bit.
No, you do not.
All right, I will go with them.
I'm actually going to roll a thing. Okay. The rest of the party, you notice the other Skitarii is now looking around. He's like looked at each individual, like he's looked at you, Mordecai, Daggett, Geller, and Jacob, and he's like beginning to walk towards like the biggest mass congregation of you all. So if you've all like closed in on Geller to watch this, then he's walking towards the group. He's walking towards as many of you as he can.
I've probably kept my distance from the rest because my guy is, well, paranoid. Fuck.
Honestly, I think pretty much everyone but Gela just fucked out to go hide.
Yeah.
Most likely. So as everyone is beginning to like disperse and hide, or at least move away from Geller a little bit, Geller, the Skitarii then begins to emit a bit of binary that you identify as him, basically giving the standard to police: freeze, stop, don't move. I have permission to kill you if you flee.
I tell the group that, and I just walk towards the Skitarii, like, okay, I'm over by you. Okay.
Yeah, the Skitarii Terminator walking towards, but he's emitting this high-pitched, like, beeping, whining, and general feedback noise.
I would have told the others in low Gothic, yeah, you may hide, but he will kill you. I put it as bluntly as possible.
I haven't asked the darn question.
It will still kill you.
Why? I haven't done anything wrong.
It's pulled a RoboCop, basically, Mordecai. It's determined that you're a known associate to Daggett and Jacob, as you're the only off-worlder. So he wants to question you just for being an off-worlder, basically.
I probably could have.
And it's a little GM way of keeping the party from splitting on their first day on the job.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I come out of hiding after I realized it scanned me, and I come over to Gela.
I don't know why you would try to hide. Skitaris are superb hunters and killers.
Oh, I tried to hide as soon as she said, as soon as I heard on the box that we were in trouble.
Yeah. But the Skitarii then walks towards you, Geller. And I assume the rest of the party, as everyone gathers up around you, except for Teresa, who's basically being escorted by this other Skitarii at the moment. He looks at you and looks between your fellow acolytes and just says, we have determined that you are either known associates of that one. And he gestures with the barrel of his gun towards Teresa. Or you have been asking similar questions. Due to the recent events in this district, I have been ordered to take you all in for further questioning by our Alpha. Geller, you know an Alpha is basically a Skitarii that's got a bit more freedom of thought.
I nod.
He's the one. That's the one calling the shots. He's the one that said, "Those 5, bring them in."
Okay, well, at least this will help progress the story. I just nod like, okay.
Yeah, generally the best thing to do when a Skitarii is bringing you in is just don't resist.
Yes.
Compliance is appreciated on Forge Worlds.
If anything, I'm actually just following beside the Skitarii, asking him a question. What model of shotgun do you have? What kind of armaments do you use? Blah blah blah. Asking it questions.
Call me a fellowship at +10.
Saying this shit binary so y'all can't understand us. He doesn't answer. He's not...
He does answer. He basically the answers to all of your questions are I cannot talk about that.
I wish Sevens was here.
Sevens was cool, man.
Sevens
Anyway.
was cool.
Used to be cool. Anyway, pity he died 20 years earlier. Anyway, so the pair of Skitarii lead you through the streets. People move out of your way because who the fuck would dare to stand in the way of a Skitarii? Madmen would. And they lead you effectively into their own sort of like Arbite precinct type deal, although it looks more like a barracks. So Daggett, it looks more like a barracks to you, and to Jacob, it looks more like a precinct.
Cool.
But you're all filed in. You're not taken to like a cell or an interrogation. You're not even like you don't even have your possessions moved off of you. They're not arresting you. They're just taking you in for questioning. They take you into basically a small room. Once the Skitarii leave, Jacob just sort of looks around and just says, "This is one really shite interrogation room." Geller, this is just a plain room to you. There doesn't appear to be anything special about it. But after a little bit, the door opens again, and about a Skitarii about the same size comes inside of this room. He's a bit taller. His armor looks a bit more pristine, and he's got like a mole on his belt. And he looks at you all and says, "We have reported that you all have been asking questions about where certain events have occurred and where the surviving members of such events have occurred as well. I, by order of the Magos, or Logos Khan, have been ordered to wonder why and how you know." He looks between all of you, but mainly at you, Geller.
Did our interrogator tell us don't blow your cover under any circumstance?
I'm pretty sure that's the general idea, is to try and keep your cover as
I'm
much
fairly
as
sure
possible.
as well, but we're talking to this guitar. I'm pretty sure whatever.
Yes, we were specifically told not to do that.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I think they already have a good idea already, but they're just seeing what we say. So,
Does our face want to talk?
So whilst you're all
He's addressing
thinking
you,
of what to say, he's addressing all of you, but he's mainly looking at you, Geller, because he thinks you're the most responsible one here. I know, it's crazy, right? But after a little bit, Jacob then pipes up and says, "Tracking a murderer, and he might be linked." The Skitarii then looks at him for a moment, and then looks at you, Geller.
I
Looks
nod.
back at Jacob, and Jacob just is very defiant in what he's saying. He's saying this as if he himself believes this bullshit he's throwing out of his lips.
Make him roll intelligence here if he does.
Please. What?
No,
Why?
I don't have to. It's just his character. I will need his character sheet open though, because I need to see what I'm having to do. But his deceivers. Oh god, no. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, the Skitarii then looks at him for a moment. Holy shit. And believes 100% of what he just said.
Something's wrong with this Qatari.
Why the fuck did I have to roll an 83? Anyway, so the Skitarii just sort of nods at that and just says, well, we apologize for interrupting. However, you're freaking out the populace more than you need to by asking these questions.
Perhaps we should bring our questions to you then.
He looks at you and nods and says, well, assuming you're all working with this man, should be no problem. Although we have you on file as a transfer, a guard, seneschal and an envoy, and then a private investigator from off-world. And he gestures to Jacob. Jacob looks like he's about to say something, and then 05. Okay, yeah, no, he doesn't. He looks as though he's about to say, "I'll have you know, Imperial citizen, I am a member of the Adeptus Arbites," but no, instead he's chill. He keeps his cool under pressure every now and then, very rarely, not really. Anyway, this Skitarii looks between all five of you. Says, assuming you were all with Jacob then, it seems they have his name. Don't know how. Not really. Retroacting that, he's assuming you are with the Arbites. What is it you would like to know? Very understanding, this cold, methodical robot.
Yes.
We'd like information on the murders and potentially to
locate the survivors, if any.
No,
No?
I'm blanking on the word here for when you ask questions to a person without cutting into them. Interview the survivors.
Right.
Air quotes.
If that's at all possible.
He looks at you and says, for security reasons, I can't reveal the name of the survivors or where they live. And he just sort of like looks at Jacob like, sorry, but my jurisdiction outweighs yours, motherfucker. But he proceeds to say, the murder sites all happened in Hablock 74. Within District 38T.
How were the bodies found? Any similarity between the murders?
None at all. All we know is that they were found inside of their accommodations in a variety of different deaths, with a variety of different injuries that they've sustained. Some had their necks broken, a few had their cybernetics shut down and stabbed, a few were shot, a few looked as though they were poisoned.
I raised my eyebrow at that. Poisoning a tech priest.
Some are more
Indeed, it
human
is
than others.
disgraceful. Some of the lesser members of the cohort, the Cyberseer was found impaled upon his own evisceration lance.
Ah.
His reclamators were found poisoned or necks broken, and a few had internal injuries and stab wounds. Some of our brothers and sisters had servitor assistants that were shut down, and a few were missing.
What's your working theory here, if you don't mind me asking?
Very obviously, we believe it to be an assassin of some kind, going around and killing these tech priests. However, we can't kill something we can't see or know about. We've been ordered by by Logus Khan to continue the investigation. However, there is debates happening amongst the council of this district.
Debates?
Some of the low giant training believe it is a waste of resources to look into murders, and the more logical response would be to simply let the populace deal with it whilst we continue to expand our district. Some agree, some disagree, saying that we won't have anyone left to expand if we continue to have murders going on.
I'm not at that point.
And is there any connection between the victims?
Aside from all of them working on on this new bioweapon of some kind, we don't know. The Cyberseer was the newest to have been killed, and what little details he would share about his little experiment, we don't have many of them on file. He then looks to Jacob and says, you're welcome to review the crime scene if it will help in any way. We've cleared out the building and checked for any kind of bugs, but so far nothing has come up.
I have one question. Like, do you have any idea when the murders were committed?
The first one was about a month ago. The latest one, the Cyberseer, he was killed about 4.5 days ago.
Like, time of day?
Each of them was at night.
Of course.
When would an assassin work during the day is beyond me. So of course they're all at night.
Some like to send messages, but you do have a very good point.
Out of 11, there are only 3 survivors, and we've placed them into very high security.
Hold on. Didn't you say there were 4 earlier?
3, 2, 4.
No, there's only ever been 3.
Okay.
You said 3 or 4, but now you just confirmed 3, so...
Yeah, the interrogator was a bit like, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe there's half a dozen, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm an interrogator of the ecclesiarchy, not a tech priest of the Mechanicus. I don't fucking know.
We need more tech priests in Inquisition.
Okay, I'll be right back.
There are a couple of Inquisitor tech priests, believe it or not. They just don't operate within the Calixtus sector for some gay reason.
Fucking hell, we need... I want to be under their command.
Yeah, the problem is that the Mechanicus has their own sort of Inquisition, and they're a bit more effective than the regular Inquisition. But anyway, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Heresy.
Yeah, but technically speaking, Connor, there could, in 2E, if you take the Elite Advanced Inquisitor.
Sadly, we don't play 2E. We play first E. Yeah. That game's so much better. Anyway, no, it's...
Well, she
Anyway.
could still become an Inquisitor on the road in our game, right?
If we ever make it to Ascension, God forbid, Inquisitors can be anyone but tech priests. They can only go sages or magoses.
Well, fine. I'll be a Magos and I'll go live on a planet. Fuck you guys then.
Anyway, the Skutari Alpha then just looks between all of you. He's handed the suggestion of going and looking at the crime scene to Jacob. And Jacob is just sort of looking around at the 4 of you, just sort of like,
I just say we do.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
no.
nod at him like, yeah.
Now, I'm kind of curious what poison was used. Like, is it a local thing, or is it off-world, or what?
This is a fact. This is a Forge world. This most likely will be off-world.
It was probably diesel when it should have been,
Brute
not diesel. Yeah.
Yeah. The Skutari Alpha looks at you, Mordecai, and just says, we're still analyzing the poison discovered. It's hard to analyze it, however, we've determined that the poison self-executes after a set time.
That's some pretty advanced stuff.
There are several poisons that are known to be used from off-world sites.
Alright, quick
We've
question.
got the Magos Tunator looking it over.
Quick question. Are, like, nanobots a thing in 40k?
Yes.
Yes.
It could have been,
Auto-sanguine and pro-sanguine are traits that you could get later.
Yeah, I would suggest...
The little robots that live in your bloodstream that float around and
Yeah,
fix you when you die.
I would have
Effectively,
Wire
this guy
nanobots.
the Cyberseer was actually looking it up. I mean, from what you can recall, the Nanocybers blood decontamination unit is effectively a swarm of nanobots that decontaminates blood of like radiation, poison.
Yeah,
and shit.
I would have asked, could it have possibly been nanomachines used to kill the victim?
Unknown. We've searched the blood of some of the victims, and it's all come up clean.
Yeah.
The Cyberseer himself was auto-sanguined, and he just kind of shrugs.
Yeah. Well, unless anyone else had any other questions, shall we make our way to the murder scene?
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Group consensus is to go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this Katori Alpha like summons one of his
Bitch boys.
He effectively doesn't even do that. He basically gets again another monotask servo skull to lead you to the murder scene. These people, it's a Forge World. They use servo skulls for just about everything.
I need to get a servo scope before I leave.
Yeah.
They gave me one chance.
Yeah, and the servo skull leads you effectively into one of the other hab blocks, or out of the little barracks or whatever, and into one of the other hab blocks. Quick question, and be honest. What gear did people bring when they went outside to go and do inquiries? 'Cause that's the gear you would have on you.
Yeah, my armor and my las pistol. That's all I've got.
Could I hide my last
and my
carbine
flail,
within my
apparently.
cloak? Could I hide my last carbine in my cloak?
Not very well.
I would probably have kept most of my bigger weapons in my bag, like the club and the auto gun. The knife and the auto pistol, I'd probably be wearing in a holster.
Yeah,
Right.
I probably would have just brought my. As you know, yeah, I would have attempted to at least hide bring my gear with me. I just have pretty much everything other than my metal staff hidden under my cloak, or
Okay.
attempt to be hidden under my cloak.
The las carbine would have been much harder to hide for asking questions. So all of your like fellowship results and shit would have been much higher. To the point of possibly critically failing, but oh well, it's too late now. But just bear that in mind when you go around asking questions and you're all armed to the teeth. You will get negatives for it.
That didn't happen last
Mordecai,
time.
have you been carrying around your gun bag with you?
Yeah.
Considering how heavy it is, you gain a level of fatigue, since you have been walking around for a while, carrying it.
It's like slung over his shoulder.
You're
Yeah, I
still
know.
carrying it. It's still
You're
gonna be
still
heavy.
carrying it. It's still
still
heavy,
heavy
and
shit.
it's still gotten wet from the rain. So
So it's heavier.
it's heavier.
I've actually, it's not. It's like 5.5 kilograms of stuff.
Yeah, but you're still carrying it around on one shoulder. Your shoulder hurts. You gain a level of fatigue.
All right.
Bear in mind, you're walking through like crowds of tech priests and servitors that would have been bashing into you constantly.
Okay.
So-
What do I mark as fatigue?
Just put somewhere on your sheet that you have fatigue for a while.
Okay.
I really wish they added like some kind of tracker for this.
Yeah, it's annoying why they didn't. But hey, I didn't create these character sheets. Yeah, and unlike second edition, you take a -10 to all tests until you gain until you rest for an hour,
Or you take STEM.
or you take stim. Daggett.
Yes.
No, stim wouldn't remove fatigue because it's not critical damage. Stim removes critical damage effects. Daggett, same question. Are you carrying around all of your gear or just some of it? Bearing in mind what I just said to Mordecai.
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving this around anywhere.
All right. You also gain a level of fatigue.
Although they're not like
You're
an
carrying-
or anything, I'm wearing them all appropriately.
Oh god.
Yeah, even then, again, it's raining.
Still, yeah.
There's a lot of people walking in and around you, literally in you.
A servo skull will
It's not
fly
very,
through
not
your
very fun
chest.
to... Yeah, the service skull just flies through you. Yeah, Jacob's only weapon is a shotgun, and he doesn't carry a lot of anything else on him. So he's fine.
That's carbine.
Teresa, you're a bit encumbered by your carapace armor since you're wearing it all the time.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say you have like a -5 to like agility tests because you're a bit like stiff from wearing this heavy armor, and it's been raining and shit
All right.
and all of that stuff. Yeah, I would say to you the same thing to you, Gala, but you don't really have a lot of heavy duty gear, as las weapons are typically quite light.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the heaviest of gears. Hmm.
Oops, wrong book.
You roll me a toughness test.
Okay.
But no, don't bother. It seems weird. No, you're just fine.
Yeah.
You're just used to this. Seems ridiculous rolling a toughness test just to be carrying around a las carbine.
It's the last car like it weighs 3 kilograms.
It's not exactly that heavy to carry around. I mean, shit.
Let me see. I
You
think
see the
that
Catachan Jungle Fighter? They use las carbines and they just lug them around like they're paper. Anyway,
I think the heaviest weapon I have is my metal staff.
yeah. And use that as a walking stick.
Which
So
I do.
following this servo skull, you're led into the hat block units. And you're led like up some stairs, and effectively you're led into one of the you're led to the very top floor where this cyber seer supposedly lived. And yes, when you enter into this room, well, by the time you get outside of it, the servo skull again 180s and flies off. When you enter into this room, Christ, this is hard to explain. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna show you the little thing I drew because it'll be a hell of a lot easier than to show you then explain it. Now we have mysterious music. Aha. Assuming it loaded for everyone because sometimes it doesn't load. This is the general gist of what you're looking at.
Oh, yay!
Pretty nice room.
Oh, it's bigger than most rooms on the Forge
He's
world.
a cyber seer. He's like one rank below Magos.
Yeah, he gets shit.
Yeah. I'll drag over your tokens just so you can move yourselves around.
I'm just imagining a Scum as a freaking Inquisitor now.
Hey, it's been done.
Yeah, and he done so many illegal shit. He was an Inquisitor for a day. Okay.
Jacob's probably there looking at what's on the table.
I'm right next to the door here, right?
Yeah?
Alright.
He just barges into his personal room and starts looking around.
Well, he's dead. He's not gonna care.
Yeah, true.
Probably gonna poke it around in this cabinet or whatever it is over here.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look around the room from where I'm standing.
I'm just reading the
Sure.
paper that's on the table.
Yeah. So, Geller, the papers, they're not actually papers, they're data slates. It's just the tables that I have preset have paper rather than data slates. On them is several strings of binary that you've translated into a mixture of like chemical formulas, percentages for something, and just like general notes this guy must have made, specifically about these plants that he's got growing.
Any idea what these plants do?
They're for chemical stuff.
And
Could you
everything's for
roll
chemical
me
stuff.
a secret tongue tech to see if you can identify what he's doing with them,
Okay.
or what he was doing?
Any bonuses or no?
Plus 10.
Okay.
Hey, you got it.
Yay.
He appeared to be using the sap grown from these plants to effectively create a sort of cell, sort of like cytoplasm for the nanocybers, whatever's, the blood decontamination units.
Mm-hmm.
He appeared to be trying to make something that he could inject them into, and then further
Inject
put
that
them
into someone.
inside of someone. Yeah. Effectively, he was nearly done. He had synthesized it enough where the plant wouldn't immediately try changing all of the cells within a human body and effectively turn a person into a plant, as this is a highly carnivorous plant that's been converted, that's basically been killed by the guy, by the cyberseer, but not killed enough that all of its cells have died. It's imagine if a plant could become chemically brain dead. That's basically what this guy's done to these plants. He's put them in a coma, basically. The little blue things that you see on either side that he has noted, that I've just pinged, they are effectively collecting large quantities of sap from the plants.
I would need chems to even attempt to try to finish his recipe. Shit.
You would need chem use or scholastic law chemistry to even try and understand what half of this shit is.
I don't. I just take.
What Magos were you? Were you biologist, genitor, militant? What were you? You said you were going team medic, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so you'd be biologist. This is, you kind of understand it, but it's different because you're used to putting people back together again or taking stuff out of them and like being all like, oh cool, look at this liver, it's so weird. You're not used to like plant biology and chemistry. It's not really your forte.
I take the notes to kind of study later to try to expand my horizon.
Okay, yeah, so mark down on your sheet that you have basically chemistry papers. Teresa, at the table you went to, you can see what would appear to be a las pistol that seems to have been modified in some way. You can't really, tech priest, and frankly, you probably wouldn't care. It's just a las pistol that seems to be a bit bigger than the las pistol you carry, but you don't know any like technical things about it. The notes next to it, on the data slates next to it, are all written in binary, so you just.
Well, I'm gonna take all that stuff and I'm gonna take it to Gela and see if she can.
Okay. I would
actually. You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I'll just yell for Gela to come here.
Yeah.
Gela, get in here.
Be the bitch you are. Yes. If you have any notes, address them to me. Yes.
What do these notes say? I don't speak binary.
I pick up the notes and look at them.
Sure. Can you roll me another secret tongue tech at plus? Actually, no, you wouldn't get a plus this time.
Cause I would kind of Never mind.
You're biologist, not militant. You may know something though. Yeah, there you go. You didn't need the plus 10 anyway. Yeah. These appear to be blueprints for blueprints. They appear to be like designer notes on a certain kind of las pistol. The guy appeared to have been trying to recreate a Palatine las pistol, using spare parts, basically.
What the hell?
And he was successful. He created a Palatine class las pistol.
What's a Palatine class las pistol?
I don't know. It sounds fancy. It's something I'm gonna hold on to.
It's in the Inquisitor's
It's a las pistol with 10 less shots, but it can fire semi-automatically.
Oh.
It also has. Hold on, let me look.
It doesn't really have any special traits other than it does 1d10 plus 2 damage. It's energy. It has a clip of 20, and it has S/3, but it has less range. It's got 20-meter range.
I would.
There might also be some special fluff shit.
60 rather.
I would have asked Sister Teresa if I can see the las pistol.
And
she just hands it to him, or to her.
I take
like
it.
Doesn't even say anything.
Yeah, I take it and look it over.
Yeah, it is the Takara Palatine Compact Las Pistol. Except it's been probably purchased and tinkered with a little bit. It doesn't actually do anything.
What does the machine say when I look at it?
Do you wish to commune with this machine spirit?
Somewhat, yes. I want to see if it's happy with the modifications.
Roll me a logic at plus 10. I say slightly larger. It's half the size of a military las pistol. Yes, Gela, you commune with this machine spirit, and all you get is, bored. So bored. I've been taken apart. Bored. Can I please be used?
I gotta pet the last pistol a little. Soon, you may be used.
I need an adult. I am an adult.
He's like, I need an adult. I'm being correct.
Okay, wait. Does the machine want to go with me or the sister, or it doesn't care?
It doesn't care. It just wants to be used for fuck's sake. The guy took it apart and never used it. And he's like, I'm a military-grade las pistol used by the nobility of Scintilla. You will use me, or so help me the Omnisire, I will beat you somehow.
Gella, you have a carbine. I have a friggin' pistol. I need another pistol.
Yeah.
You can have my pistol.
No, your pistol sucks.
It's the exact same pistol you've already got.
Yeah, but now you can dual wield them. Do.
It's literally just a las pistol with less range and semi-auto.
Which is good.
The machine spirit seems
It's good, but
hunger for action. I kind of hold it to Teresa. Would you like to use them?
I'll take it and just inspect it.
I would have told you that
Yeah.
it's a modify of the standard military one.
Does it have a charge pack in it?
its charge pack wasn't in it. It was like on the table next to it.
So yeah.
Okay,
I will take that too.
And
And
put it in.
Okay, so
Load
you
it
got a Palatine las pistol, essentially.
It's pretty cool.
and I will holster that shit and say, yeah.
Maybe-
Wait. Actually, we're sort of just stealing that thing, aren't we?
Would it be stealing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit
Yeah,
is
well,
Well,
well, the Inquisition needs it more at the moment.
Oh wait. Would the Skitari care if we took this or no?
Probably.
They can't care if they don't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, if we do take, I recommend you keep it.
I mean, do you really think the
Concealed.
military of this planet would leave a weapon in a crime scene?
Yeah.
They obviously didn't care enough to take the weapon out of said crime scene, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
mine
not.
now.
You know how on crime scenes there's usually that little like bit of card that has like a number on it to identify evidence.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
wasn't one of them. There wasn't even anything near it. It looked like it had just been sat there for 4 days.
I recommend if you do take it, keep it hidden for now. The Skitari
Obviously.
may want to take it as evidence, and I just kind of walk out to go examine other parts of the room.
Okay, so what do I find in this cabinet I'm probably carefully pulling apart?
Within the cabinet, you see a inactive servo skull,
So I
basically.
open
So-
the cabinet, I see the servo skull, I close the cabinet because I do not want to deal with that.
Yeah, especially because it has a las carbine attached to it.
Did you find anything? I asked the others.
You really want that circle
Sure.
skull, don't you?
Yes. Yes. Why don't you take a look in here?
Okay, I kind of open it still very carefully. Do I see?
Yep, you see a fairly dusty, inactive servo skull with what appears to be a las carbine holstered underneath it.
I kind of.
Yeah, I just shout that as soon as.
Yeah, Geller,
You do
you
know
would
I will.
identify it. You would identify it as a Guardian servo skull.
I pick it up and give it a look over.
It looks to be largely unused. It has again a like 19 inscribed on its side. And then yeah, it just has the word. It just has like on one side of its skull the 19, the other side of its skull it has the Mechanicus symbol.
I'm pretty sure if
Do
I
you-
turn. What?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to try and turn it on?
I was going to ask if I turn it on, or can I roll it to see if I turn it on, it will try to kill us all.
I'm taking
You can
cover if
roll-
you mess with that thing.
You can roll a logic test.
Yeah.
Plus
I'm
anything.
gonna take cover as soon as you fiddle with it.
Yeah.
Plus anything since I tech freeze.
10 for binary.
Yay!
It does count as a servitor technically.
Yay!
Yeah, you turn it on, you commune with its machine spirit. It's doing that it's making the equivalent of that really, really adorable noise a cat makes when you're like stroking it. It's purring. It's
Mechanically
it's
purring.
It's dormant, it's deactivated, it doesn't seem hostile in any way, shape, or form. Communing with it, you like Yeah, like, do you just wake it up? And if so, how do you want to wake it up? Like, you're communing with its soul, not the physical thing, so
Yeah.
waking it up doesn't mean it activates.
Yeah,
Waking it up means you're talking to the dormant machine spirit within.
And I would do the proper litanies of awakening the machine spirit, and
The
then
rite of activation.
yes.
It's a legitimate thing, it's in the label books. I can't believe I actually managed to read that.
Oh god! And when it kind of replies back, I will ask it, did it? Do you know where you're at, or does it know what may have happened within the last 4 days?
It gives you a string of binary, which is just sort of like the equivalent to processing. Processing. Guardian class servo skull, Mark T72. Has carbine ready.
It
Monoblades ready.
does not know anything that happened within the last 4 days.
Factory reset fully initialized.
Factory reset.
Commands? Question mark.
I'm gonna order it to designate me as its new owner.
No. Oh God.
The machine spirit says, cannot comply at time, requiring activation.
I turn it on.
Yeah, you reactivate the physical body this time. The servo skull then begins to like float gently. It's now face. It's a good like 3 feet from your face right now, as it's
I'm
flying.
taking cover.
Okay,
And
you take cover.
A red beam like protrudes out of its eye, and it scans you, Geller. Its las carbine then begins to sort of like move around, like the equivalent to like, you know, when you stretch and you like click a bone in your arm or whatever when
Yeah.
you're like stretching whatever. It's doing that.
How long has that thing been in there?
You hear as the las carbine fully activates. It then basically like protrudes this like almost like document coming out of its its document. It seems to be its field manual. It's all written in binary. As it said, it's a Mark T72 Guardian class servo skull equipped with a las carbine. Its prior designation is unknown, as it was it was reset approximately 5 days ago. It was bought new, apparently. It seems it was put in there and the guy never turned it on. He put it in there and forgot that he had a servo skull. That might have saved his life had he bothered to remember that.
Yeah. And now it will save my because I'm taking the shit.
Yeah, it gives you a full statistical report of itself. It's fully active and ready to receive its programmed instincts,
Yes.
as well as its set commands.
First thing I order is to designate me as primary owner.
Right, it scans you and leaves you with a question. Name. It wants to know what to identify you as.
Are you seriously giving us a servo
Just
skull
Gilla.
already?
Okay, you know I was
Yeah.
trying to steal one later at some point or buy one.
Yeah, I'm basically saving Geller from stealing it from someone.
Let's steal it off a
It-
dead
it-
body.
It
Might
then
have
it
Gillis
then
steal it from someone.
it then logs you in, Geller, as its primary command. It then reports that there are 4 other individuals in the room with you. And it requests you to give it a command. Now you can give it a command of guard, search and destroy, or sentry. If you give it guard, it will protect you from them. If you give it search and destroy, it will search and destroy them. If you give it sentry, it will patrol a certain area for a while.
And then just shoot them
will-
when it sees them.
It'll guard a specific location, object, or patrol in a given area.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to program it so that it identifies Teresa, Jacob, Mordecai, and Daggett as non-hostile elements,
Yeah.
you're welcome to.
I would. I'm like, nah.
Does he have? Okay, you go do that.
You just see me. You just yell at us. We're a new friend now.
The Surfer Skull's las carbine just switches, training on each one of you.
And then I tell it, not hostile.
Yeah, its las carbine doesn't activate. For reference, it will be hovering gently above your shoulder.
Okay. Now,
And
now
also, it will
Okay,
it will obey
hold
one
on.
of. It'll obey one of 3 commands. As I said, guard, search and destroy, or sentry. Guard is its default.
Okay. Well-
And the thing for guard is it will follow and protect its master or an assigned individual. So you can assign it to protect someone else, but its default will be to protect you and follow you around.
Okay, I need to go real quick and just be messing with the servitor for servo scope right now.
Sure. Daggett, you want to know what's in the boxes?
Oh yeah.
In the boxes is a mixture of things. There appears to be several small canisters similar to these blue things here. There's also several of the plants that are still packed up. And from what you can tell, there appears to be some data slates as well, and like tools. Just miscellaneous stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just general shite. So yeah, anything else anyone wants to do in this room?
Papers on the table that me and Jacob are at.
Right. Geller identified them. They are pertaining to the ones that she left are pertaining again to these plants. They're just miscellaneous stuff like, for example, sample D1362 successful, cytoplasm removed, injection failed, bloodstream disrupted, mutation in effect. But not mutation as in, oh god, mutant, burn it. It's more mutation as in, oh, the cell changed.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk around the room scanning for clues.
Sure. Are you actively searching for anything, or are you just giving it a gander?
Who shot who now?
You said
No one shot any.
You said there was a murder here, right?
Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
looking for active signs of where this murder could have happened?
Yeah, I'm looking for, murder signs and all that.
Yeah, sure.
Murder clues.
Roll me an awareness with sight.
Okay. What happened while I was gone? My mom wanted me to save her from her new kitten.
I looked in the boxes and I looked around the room.
Okay.
Yeah. Daggett, your best guess is that the murder happened in this general area, as there are dents in the floor from where someone has probably punched as hard as they could, or tried beating with a club. There are a couple of scratches and scrapes on the floor. The blood has been mostly cleaned up by the servitors or whatever.
I'm actually going to look over the main entrance door to this room, see if there are any signs of forced entry.
Are there any vents in the room? I may be checking inside that to see if there was signs of someone crawling through it.
Yeah. Hold that thought, Geller. Mordecai, do you have security?
I don't. I guess I'm just looking over the door. For some reason, I feel like I should have security, but I don't.
You need to buy it as soon as you can. Because you're from Sinofia and that planet is... Fucking hell. I'll let you roll an intelligence. See if you can identify anything. Since you're from a decayed society in itself, you're probably used to seeing this kind of thing happen. If not to you, then to your neighbors.
Yeah. Also, may have... I ain't gonna say anything officially, but might have been involved in some less than legal activities,
Yeah.
Wow, surprising.
Okay, so intelligence, no mods?
No mods.
No mods. And I just got scratched by a kitten in my mouth.
Aw.
Little
Mordecai, it's a little hard to tell. Clearly something has been done to open this door. As the door is biometrics. So something clearly has been done to the door to get in.
Because we got in without a problem, didn't we?
But because it's Mechanicus criminals are a bit different to.
I'm gonna wave.
You basically just cut through the. Sure. Yeah, the door was basically already open for you guys.
Mechanicus criminals are shadow runners, more or less. But all
Pretty much.
deckers.
They're either professionals or idiots.
I'm actually going to drag. Actually, can I drag Gela over here, and between the two of us, we could maybe figure something out?
Okay.
Sure.
Because I mean, like, I have some experience with such things, and Gela has technical know-how, so maybe we could figure something out.
Yeah. Just give me control over this servo skull.
Yeah.
Easier.
I hope this works. Try moving yourself around, see what happens. Oh, it didn't work. I did group the two of them, you and the servo skull together. So you count as one icon. It's just not moving around with you. It's weird.
Like, it does move, but then it goes right back to where it was.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, that clearly didn't work. Oh well, yeah.
Okay,
we know where it is. It's hovering above your shoulder anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, so Daggett, you dragged Jacob. Well, you asked Jacob to come over to you.
Yeah.
And he's stood there waiting for you to.
I gesture at the area where the murder happened. What do you think?
He begins to examine it a bit. I will roll something. What would I roll to survey a crime scene? When in doubt,
Investigate.
investigate.
Either awareness or search, I think.
Yeah.
When in doubt, go to the expanded skills section of the Inquisitor's Handbook. God, if it's searching for clues, I guess this would be searching for clues technically.
Is it assisted because I got the awareness to find the thing already?
Yeah, he will get some modifier for assisting, so it would be... What did I... It was search. He's getting a 10 from you, and an additional modifier. No, he looks around it, and he's just sort of like... He just sort of shrugs and says, been a murder.
Can I search it?
Yeah, you can search it with a plus 20. 10 from Jacob and 10 from the fact that you're a bounty hunter. You're effectively a underworld... Yeah, no.
You're an underworld assassin.
No idea. You get the same. You get the same gist as Jacob. There's been a murder,
I agree.
and it was a few days ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
I like a awareness for searching, I guess, for helping, just to spot something.
Teresa, you can roll an awareness if you have heightened sense of sight, which I don't think you do. Daggett, you can re-roll.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. We'll go search, I guess.
Oh, I did slightly less bad.
That's her name.
God, everyone sucks at this.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell because you're basically going off cleaned and dried blood, and like scratches, and a couple of dents in the floor.
If I had a medical mechadendra, I could probably analyze the blood where it was.
I'm gonna take my knife out and take a sample of the blood.
I thought they cleaned it all up already.
Well, he said there's some dried blood on the
It's
floor.
pretty much cleaned up. It's a bit hard to get it, and even if you do manage to get it, it's contaminated blood with all of the disinfectants and stuff that they've used to clean it up. That, and it would probably like.
Be careful, watch her.
Oh, what is it? It's like it would dull your knife. That's what it would do. It would cause your knife to dull a bit because you're scraping metal with a knife. It's kind of like actually, it'd probably make the blade a bit sharper. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You're
gonna
welcome
take
to.
a small
Yeah,
blood
okay.
sample.
You take a small, minuscule blood sample. So put contaminated clean contaminated blood sample or something like that. I don't know. And yeah, Teresa, you're just getting the same thing. Someone was killed here.
I just imagine where me would just look at this door and I would just behind her saying, "Someone was killed! Someone was killed! Someone was killed!"
Yeah.
I think there's been a rape.
God damn it.
The Office is brilliant. But yeah. I hope any of you got that reference. I don't know if you did. Anyway. Yeah, Xander gets it. Anyway, so
I do not get it. I'm just laughing. I don't know.
Okay,
I find the whole thing funny.
I'll have to find the scene for you guys because it's fucking brilliant. It's
Please.
British people being British. I will look for it. But anyway, so yeah, Geller, do you want to do a tech use at I'd say +10 because Mordecai's there, like sort of pointing stuff out.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
4. I
yeah.
critted. I crit.
From what you can tell, someone pulled the whole pizza delivery trick on this guy. He let them in, and well, the door was opened from this side of the room, so he opened the door for someone to come in. Something happened, and someone has left.
Well, we know where something happened.
Oh yeah. I would tell everyone about that.
So the guy lets them in, and the assassin pretty much just like slams him to the ground and murders him. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
A sloppy murder, but if we caveat
Effective.
to find. Yes.
He trusted the killer.
Either
At least
And-
enough to let him in.
either, and I am dumbing this down for you, he was hungry and ordered pizza, or the murder is one of his associates.
Pizza's a pleasure food, so it's heresy.
Also, tech priests do
Found
not
it.
care one bit about pleasure.
No, I was just dumbing it down for you guys.
Not a
Yeah.
Cyberseer. Cyberseer is a very high-ranking tech priest. I highly recommend watching that scene with headphones on.
I will watch it when I'm done recording this episode.
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah.
recording.
Watch it when you're done
Oh,
recording.
this.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Oh dear God.
Okay, I'm probably gonna mute the thing for just a bit long enough to watch this. Okay, so carry on.
Okay. Yeah.
So, in conclusion, we know that he trusted the assailant enough to allow him into his domicile. We know where the body was found, and we know a little bit more about the project that they were working on.
He was impaled on his own eviscerator lance, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Hmm.
An eviscerator lance, effectively, Geller, it's your metal staff, but someone's put like, you know, like a mining drill.
Yeah.
Like there's like those three skeletons. Yeah, effectively that. So, wow, this guy died painfully. I know,
Yeah.
right, Xander? It's fucking brilliant.
Oh God.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's great, trust me. It was in the middle of one of my classes as well, and the teacher played that. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, oh god.
So
That's
yeah.
one of
a bunch of fucking sick formers are just laughing at shit. Brilliant. Okay. No, we've been no. Anyway.
I think, if anything, our next line of inquiry here is we need to find out who else is working on this project somehow.
Yes.
Those are going to be our next targets.
I know I won't get anything, but what can I roll to try to examine the murder scene itself?
I think we did search.
We
Yeah, you
searched,
can
we
roll a
all sucked on
search.
it.
You can roll search at like +30 since all fucking 4 of you are just sat there looking at this like, what is wrong?
I don't know either.
Did you
It's
put,
been a-
did you
right.
put a +30 on that?
Yes.
Stop.
There's been a bit of murder.
There's been a murder. That's all you know.
Let make it even 40. Let make it even 40. Have our
Hey, Mordecai, come over here.
Mordecai, come over here.
Mordecai, get over here.
Let's just do one.
Even the servo skull's just hovering above your shoulder, just
How
staring
many
at it.
how
like,
many
"Oh, look."
idiots does it take to investigate a crime scene?
Can the servo skull make a roll?
Bano, I think
No.
you're muted.
He could make an awareness to assist you.
That would help.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean his awareness is only like 55. Yeah, there you go. Seriously, like Guardian servo skulls are aware as fucking shit. Like,
They know.
you know. Yeah, so the servo skull just scans the scene and starts like binary talking at you, like telling you that there are blood samples. All of it has been contaminated with cleaning fluid. There are several dents and scratches in the like metal. Would you like to? Do you want to roll search again with like a +40?
Sure.
Just him or everyone, because I need to feel at least somewhat not useless.
Can I?
Yes!
Never mind.
I crit it again.
Hallelujah.
Oh, okay, you're
Yeah.
useful.
Gello, what you get?
This is fucking terrible.
5.3.
5.2 is success. Yeah, so Geller, looking this over, the dent in the floor seems to be where someone has forcibly rammed the staff into the floor, obviously. With quite a bit of force, like,
Abnormally strong for
you'd
a
need
human.
to probably be about as strong as you need to be about as strong as a servitor to do that kind of damage to the floor with this kind of staff.
I would say
as well-
Skitari, maybe, or something like that.
As well as be able to pick someone up as a cyberseer and lunge them down on this staff.
Which leaves two
So
things.
yeah, Mordecai could be right.
Servitor or
a Skitari or a
Skitari?
servitor.
Yeah.
Or a Secutor,
The
but
thing is,
Oh.
the Skitari are like super loyal, I think. they're
are.
machines,
They're,
so
they're about as loyal to the Omnissiah as the Sororitas is to the Emperor.
They are.
So if it-
Like, fuck me, they loyal.
So if this was something like a Skitari, it would have to be like a long con type or assassination. Whoever's been, if it was like a Skitari thing, it's some sort of heretic who is geared up like a Skitari. They have basically focused a lot on this mission.
Would Mitch say
Either way,
would say as Skitari committed heresy? Would that be heresy among itself?
I'm not saying it's a Skitari committing heresy. I'm saying it's someone someone very dedicated posing as a Skitari who's committed this thing. And I'm not saying that's even the whole truth, because I have no idea what's going on. I'm just saying that a Skitari would probably have the level of strength to do such
So
a thing.
will Servitor or a heavily augmented tech priest.
I think
Right.
we already deduced
More or less, yeah.
something similar to that by the fact that he trusted whoever he let in here.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Right, like I said, long con. Whoever's been at this is probably at it been for a while.
You also notice on the floor that the scratchings would appear to be damage from like a mono weapon of some kind.
You're kind of cutting out.
You're cutting in and out right there.
So
Hello?
fence using some kind of itself.
He said it's using
What
some kind of a mono
You would
weapon.
know the cyberseer. Well, he had this drone, so. But if he got disarmed, yeah, effectively the damage is caused by a mono weapon of. It's not like ugly enough to be from like an axe. It's too precise. It's probably more like a sword or a knife. Or a long sword, but that's a bit pushing it.
Or mono blades.
That what mono.
Or mono
knife
blades.
is. Yeah.
The thing is that looking at mono blades, you can all see that this servo skull has tiny little mono blades coming off of it, but they're too small to cause that kind of damage. But you know, just does a little funny thing. The servo skull has mono blades as its defensive weapon. It's great.
And a last pistol, so.
As carbine, it can
Yeah.
semi-auto with this thing.
Fuck yeah.
Has carbine, built-in red dot laser sight.
Oh hell yeah.
Only problem is it can't parry. Everyone gets a minus like 30 to hit it because it's size puny. It's fearless. It has dark sight, but it only has about 5 wounds. So if it gets hit, it'll go down. But it also has like 50 or 60 in dodge. These things are fucking hard to kill.
Question: doesn't it also, since it's firing at, since we're technically bigger than it, doesn't it also get a ballistics bonus? Firing at a larger target?
It would get a +10 for shooting at something it would consider to be hulking.
Yeah.
So it would be like +30 for shooting something at close range. No, 40 for shooting close range, single shot, and like hulking.
Oh yes.
So it's probably the best.
It can't do a lot of damage, but it can hit.
I love you, 19. Wasn't that the number on it? 19?
Yeah,
18,
its
right?
number is 19, but its serial number is something long and convoluted, and I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, which why I'm just...
Effectively, as its owner, you're authorized to give it whatever name you want, as long as it's not something fucking stupid like Sparky. Like the server skull wouldn't mind, but people would think you're weird. You'd be
No.
the equivalent of Weeaboo walking around in downtown Japan. I mean, you'd be a bit weird.
I'm just going to shorten whatever serial number it has to 19 for my teammates. So they will have a simple understanding.
Just call it 2B or 9S and get it over with.
Fine!
Technically, T71 is its model.
You know, actually, don't call it 2B. It doesn't have the ass for it.
T7. I'll just say T7. Simple as that.
T7.
Okay, so yeah. By the way, did you ever find out what was in these boxes?
A whole lot of nothing. There's some data slates, some tools, and more of those vats of oil. The plant oil stuff.
Like large vats or small bottles?
Like, hold on. Like these. Those blue things next to the plants. So I guess they're kind of large.
Oh, okay.
Although this is another example, this one down here, of the size they can be. These ones are a mixture of both. Some crates have the big ones, some crates have the smaller ones, and in larger quantities.
Hey, actually, what's this long gray thing in the private room? That's his bed, right?
Yeah, that's where he would lie down for recharge. Some tech priests prefer to still lie down when they're recharging rather than standing up. Like, it's more of a safety risk so you don't fall over in your sleep.
Yeah.
Or get knocked over by something. It would cause too much damage, and that damage can't afford to be taken.
But the best part is, for a tech priest, we just be on guard 24/7. We just hit like a large axe, and we just give it like a bipod and just kind of lean on it as we're recharging.
Some tech priests can even go whole days without needing to sleep. And they sort of just pull a T-100 from Terminator 2. They just stand there, unmoving, like all night, just waiting.
I'm pretty sure there's a upgrade or something I can get where if I'm not really being active, like running around like a maniac, if I'm just walking around, I'm pretty sure I can still recharge a little bit.
Like very far down the line, you'll be able to just sort of imagine a play in charge kit. You'll be able to work and charge at the same time. It's just if you go into combat, you'll overwork it and it'll burn out, and you have to like fix it.
Someone attached a
But
hand crank to me.
That's much later.
Someone attached an emergency hand crank to me, so then you just charge me up by cranking my back.
Yeah. What is your next plan of action?
Let's hit up one of the other murder sites. See if we can't find any information from there.
Yeah.
Real quick, because we're all complete idiots when it comes to searching for shit. I don't know. Search his bedroom more thoroughly.
Good point.
Yeah, let's.
Because we all can't roll for shit.
7,
Oh,
help me.
let's go with that.
T7, help me.
T7 follows you. He's behind your token.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all helping out. So what sort of bonuses do we get to like search?
Like search like whatever Geller rolled last time. So it was like +40.
Okay.
You could all roll search at +40.
I just. Oh god.
Dang it.
Well,
Okay.
at least you only fail by just 1 degree. If
Yeah, it's fine.
Captain found something.
Sigilla and Teresa, looking around the room again. His room is largely untouched. It seems the main murder did actually happen outside. However, unlike the other vials, you notice this tiny little vial here has been tampered with and emptied.
Peculiar.
There's bare residue left inside. There's also a small note that seems to have been left, like tucked slightly underneath the vial.
Ah, well, I have literacy, so let me.
you're on a forge world, nothing will be in Gothic.
Yeah, that's just written
Yeah.
in binary, dude.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Aw.
I'd probably poke Geller.
Taking the note, it's written in Low Gothic.
What the?
Wait, really?
Okay,
Shades are-
someone's
Yeah,
a heretic
written in Low
here.
Gothic.
Someone's a heretic.
Reading it, it's not like a big ass note. It's got fairly few words on it. It just says completed sample.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
well,
And
there's
it's
a residue, so maybe we have enough to analyze it somehow.
Yeah.
Did you tell the group what you found?
Yeah.
So it looks like this murder.
Geller would be the one. Geller would be the one who's aware of the science experiments this guy was doing.
Yeah.
The rest of you just see a sort of greenish residue left inside of this small thing.
Oh yeah, we know that it's emptied, right?
Yeah, it's empty, but it's got like dried residue, like dry sap on like trees.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I guess I'll like go find like an empty container somewhere in one of the crates, come back and just kind of scrape some of the residue into it.
Oh,
So
you
we
could,
have
you
a
could just
sample.
take that vial. Like it's not rammed into the wall or anything. It's held on like
But you see,
held on like a
is
test tube rack.
portion of me says yes, but then I think GM, everyone's in the room. It's a grenade, and we'll all die.
I just gave you a servo skull. Do you think I'm gonna kill my precious servo skull now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh well, yeah, no.
No, first let me tech use this to make sure it's not messed up in any way.
I don't think my luck could be that bad with the GM, because the last time something like that happened, it was my brother-in-law, and it was explosive runes.
Geller, he would literally like didn't even let me give you modifiers.
Oh, okay.
You would have been at about a plus 40 because you're literally pulling a vial out of something.
Then I would have succeeded then with a plus 40.
Yeah, you remove it. The small mechanical like fingers that were holding it in place just move back and you pick it up. Nothing happens.
Hey.
The servo skull just looks at you for a moment and continues like scanning it basically. It's looking at you like, is it a threat? Can I kill it? Can I shoot it?
No.
Please, can I shoot it? I want to shoot it. Can I shoot it? Ah, you suck.
I let it scan it though to see if it can tell me anything special about it, even though I just know it's just residue.
It scans it. Let's see if it can do anything about it. That moment when servo skulls are smarter than servitors. I'm not even joking.
It's a servo
Anyway.
skull. These are sacred. Servitors are just meh.
They don't have any fellowship though. I don't really know what kind of test it would be. I guess it would be its intelligence. I'll
Perception.
give it a plus. No, it scans it and then just reports in binary unidentified sample. It only woke up like 5 minutes ago. It's still
Waking
activating.
up. Okay, yeah.
It's Windows 10.
Anything
Yeah.
quote unquote under the bed or any loose platings in the room where he may have hid something?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, no, there doesn't appear to be anything under the bed. The bed isn't able to have anything hidden underneath it. It's literally like a solid block of metal protruding from
The wall.
one of the walls that
It's-
he just lies on when he's recharging.
It's the wall's penis. We know.
Yeah.
Everything's a dick joke with you, isn't it?
To a point, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
You see this elongated cylinder? It's a dick. Anyway.
By that reasoning, farmers are all pervs.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
should
you look
go.
around. You look around the room. Just.
Yeah. Well, to the next scene.
You go to the next scene. I didn't actually have a map drawn for this one because.
Similar to this one for some odd reason.
Yeah, it's just imagine this room but less foliage
Yeah.
and crates and smaller. Inside of this room, there's no bloodstains, as the room you go to next was one of the reclamators who had his neck broken. However, unlike the previous door, without even needing to roll, it's very obvious something has forced their way inside of this room.
Let me guess, it's mangled.
Not mangled. There's a giant boot print in the door, and it's been kicked off of its hinges.
How big is footprint?
Human size,
Okay.
but it's very like I don't really know. You get the impression it would be very heavy, obviously, as it kicked a fucking door inwards.
And this isn't like a flimsy door, is it?
No, this is like plasteel.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go with Skitari level strength as comparison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside of his room, or inside of the reclamator's room, he's basically got a box with several of his leftover tools. His bed is an actual physical bed though, with a mattress and everything.
Is there an under bed?
No, there's just the one bed.
I look under the mattress.
Under the mattress is there's like a printing in like the mattress to where something would have been, like the dust is collected in a very square like shape. So there was something here, but it has been taken. Probably like a note or a data slate or something.
Well, at least my instinct for that is on par.
Yes.
Yes.
God damn it, dogs.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be checking like the toolbox or whatever. See what's inside of it. If anything
Sure.
important.
In the toolbox are several like well, one or two of these smaller broken vials that we saw in the Cyberseer's room. There's also excuse me. There's also some like other broken tools that have been tinkered with, as if he's been trying to fix something. Probably a hobby or a spare time activity.
Okay.
Anything in this cabinet?
In the guy's personal cabinet, again similar to looking underneath the mattress, it looks like there was something the size of the vials, and it's been taken.
So, who's ever our killer is interested in what the fuck? I can never remember names in Warhammer. Whatever the fuck. What was his name? What was his title again? Cyberseer.
Cyberseer.
Yeah, whatever the Cyberseer was making. Most. How was this guy who neck was broken or who just?
He was one of the ones that had his neck broken. Yes.
Okay, so no point in just looking around. Actually, I want to look at the boot print or whatever. I want to be able to set.
Sure, the boot print in the door.
Yeah, I just want to be able to tell A, is it Skitari, or B, is it something else? I doubt it's
Human sized.
It would be evaluate at -10.
Can
Probably
T7 help
assisted
me?
by Mordecai, unless you went into the... No, Mordecai, you went and looked at the bed. Never mind.
Yeah, can T7 help me?
Let's see if he can help you.
T7, help your new owner.
No,
God damn it, T7.
he scans the door and just like proceeds to sort of wait patiently by your side. He doesn't have any input.
Goddamn T7. I fall on the door.
You don't fall on it. You're almost 100% certain that a servo skull headbutted the door in.
You
In such a way that it looks like a boot print.
I think about that. It shake me like, oh god, no. No.
You think about that and you're like, maybe, and then you're like, oh, I'm actually dumb, and then you're like, no, it can't be that.
I need
Oh,
something to do.
you know, I just gotta, because I'll feel bad if I don't.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey.
I was going to ask Mordecai if he can help me with looking at this door.
It's
What
not.
were you, what were
it's
you trying to
not-
be aware of?
What do I roll? Awareness?
Whatever they were trying to investigate for that boot print.
So
I guess.
rolling for the door, you wouldn't roll awareness to identify the boot print. You'd be rolling evaluate. At minus
I
10.
don't have evaluate.
Wow.
I have evaluate.
Everyone has it as a basic skill. So you can roll it on minus 10, and if you get a 5 or under, then...
I'm pretty sure we're all helping.
Yeah, you know
Help
what? I'm
me.
going to pass because I don't know, Don.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Let's see if MVP Mr. fucking Jacob can see this. So he has a 3% chance of passing. No, he has no idea. He's looking at it like, I don't know, it's a boot print. It's a little hard to tell. Many of you have never seen a Skitarii before, but after the encounter you had earlier, you're a bit like, maybe.
I'm gonna wander around this room searching again.
I would doubt that it's Skitarii, but it's always an option.
I mean,
I'm
people
more
say
going-
Skitarii are loyal, yet Sister Mirel, or whatever the fuck her name is, the Slaneshi sorority still exists.
Well, they're flesh. Flesh is corruptible.
In some cases, so is metal.
Anyways,
Okay.
Anyway. Looking again around his room, around this guy's room, the best impression you're getting is that this guy was, when he did die, he was probably at his desk. As that's where the majority of his tools are, and they're all arrayed as if he was working on something. When door gets kicked in, shocked expression on his face, he's like, holy shit, something's in my room. And then just...
yeah. Does he have any notes on what he may have been working on as well?
It looks as though he did, but they've been removed. Bear in mind this murder happened like 5 or 6 days ago. Either the Skitarii could have removed it as evidence, or the killer could have removed it for whatever reason they have. Like, it's a little hard to tell.
Okay, well, before I leave, I'm going to take some spare parts. If he has any spare parts in the room. He should, but...
Yeah, that's a D0, not a D10. He has 5 spare parts.
Yay, now I have 9. So I can fix things. Fairly sure most of this is duct tape, but okay. Cause duct tape fixes everything. Yeah. Who could have been the one? I'm fairly sure checking the other murder site will result in the same person came in, killed,
Yeah.
or or poisoned.
Person got their room broken into / opened the door for their killer and killed in either a very brutal way or a very sort of
Sneaky way.
not sneaky way. Yeah, I was gonna make a Mass Effect reference, but I couldn't remember the name. It's like Nihilus. When Nihilus dies, he's like, I've got it all under control. Injects him with poison, dies. Or some bullshit like that. But that, yeah. However, one thing you do get from all of this, if nothing else, is that the later the death, the more brutal. Aside from the Cyberseer. The Cyberseer was the most recent, and that was the most brutal one of all. But it started off with door gets kicked in, neck gets broken, to door gets opened, man gets injected with poison, thing leaves.
Hmm.
And before any of you start realizing, hey, picked feeds, am I right? They all appear to have been smashed. Like something has come in and just monkey punched them very hard.
Just because they were smashed, that doesn't mean someone doesn't have a copy of it somewhere.
So
but picked feeds aren't always reliable.
We also
bear in
found
mind,
picked feed things in there too. So
also bear in mind these murders have been happening for the last month. If picked feeds were reliable, you wouldn't be here. This Qatari would have sorted it out long ago.
Oh.
It's because the picked feeds don't work, and because this is all very suspicious that you lot have been sent.
Judging by the size of the boot print on the door, can I try and find tracks from the boot print?
You could roll another evaluate.
I'll have 7 help him this time. If he's looking for prints.
I'll see if 7 can help.
Well, we already had. Well, yeah, we have the one print. We don't have more prints.
T7 scans it, and we'll proceed to effectively give a report to Daggett in binary, but then we'll default over to Gela to translate it.
Yeah, I tell him whatever the server says.
So Daggett, why don't you give me an evaluate check at plus nothing, because it would be minus 10, but you're being assisted by something the size of your skull. Or just, you notice in the boot print that there are, well, it's kind of a weird boot print, as it's, I'll see if I can draw it out for you, actually.
I was saying, can I use that boot print to try and find tracks of other boot prints?
That would be tracking.
But at least we have a vague idea.
If you want to identify the boot print.
Well, yeah, I wanted to identify it so I could track it.
Yeah, the boot print effectively looks something along the lines of like how I'm drawing it right now. Sort of like that.
Okay, so standard boot print.
It's got a
Sort of. I mean, if like Jacob looks at the bottom of his boot, and his boot is sort of more like his boot print is more like.
It looks mechanical.
In nature, yeah.
This is a forge
Like-
roll.
Like a big square heel.
And the boot looks fucking huge, right?
Yeah, the boot print it's the size of a human, a very bulky human. Like nothing like the size of an ogre or anything stupid like that, but it's a heavy duty boot print. Like if someone stomped down, considering the damage they've done to this door, they would probably get their legs stuck in the floor. I mean, combat boots can come like that. Daggett, you're a military person. But you know.
And they said the Cybersea had servitors, but they were taken or destroyed, right?
All of the tech priests in the cohort had some either a servo skull or a servitor that they had. The Cyberseer had 3 servitors that were absent from his room when he was killed.
Do we know what type of servitors? Like monotask, security, or what kind?
Utility.
Utility.
So they would have been like biologist issue utility servitors. So he could have issued them to do something minor from pick up box and take to other side of room to take sample and deliver it to me, or take sample and deliver it to someone else.
Huh.
Hey,
Or even just hold this for me.
Wait, hold on. Question: did the guy who got murdered that we were looking into earlier, did he have any servitors or anything like that?
The Reclamator or the Cyberseer? The guy who had his neck broken, or the guy the Cyberseer? That's what I was saying. He had 3 servitors, but they were absent from the room when he was murdered.
So do you
Or
think
at least
it's
that's what the
possible?
Skitarii believe.
Well,
They're
that-
like, well, there's no evidence of them being in the room.
That is what I'm getting at. Perhaps the Cyberseers, someone took control of the Cyberseer servitors, ordered them to murder the others, and the Cyberseer himself, which would be the only reason why someone will be able to open the door, let them in, or them be able to break down the door. Either that, or Omnisire forbid, a Skitarii went rogue and did it. But I doubt that heavily.
That's psychic.
Alternatively, someone may have also picked up Skitarii level augmentation.
How difficult is it to get Skitarii level augmentations?
Not at all. Look at Secutors.
Oh yeah.
Secutors are bigger than Skitarii. They're heavier than Skitarii.
That's also an option. It was a secretary, but
Secutor are more devout than Skitarii is the problem.
yeah.
They're literally redemptionists in Mechanicus form.
Unless you had a reason to try and interrupt the project.
Maybe it was a secretary. It'll be the only one who'll be smart enough to know how to poison someone properly.
I'm gonna look at Gil. Do the
Secutors
Mechanicus
don't
have,
really do poison.
Yeah.
do the
but
Mechanicus have any form of a cold trade?
cold trade.
You know, a black market.
Possibly. We'll have to roll for something like that.
Monol machine cult.
Okay. On this machine.
It'll just be flat because you're not that aware. Gala, yeah. Most Forge worlds have them. However, they're usually like heretics. Very minor heretics that have been allowed to live and have escaped enforcement.
Yeah. Well.
They usually dwell with other heretics, like on the outskirts of cities, and they usually move away as cities do what this one's doing, the whole expansion.
No, I'll tell the group that. Well, heretics are the only low heretics will be the only one who'll be able to do a black market without really being killed if they're good at hiding. Heretics could have been the reasons this has happened. I still say they use the servitors to do the break-in and murder, but perhaps Heretic was the one who did the Cyberseer, one with a grudge, or one doing some underhand tasks, or another Heretic.
Also,
So
there's a breed known as Malatacs, who are basically allowed to live by the Mechanicus. It's just they're not considered a part of it. It's more of a title they're given.
Okay.
They would be more logical to think of as in the chain of command. It would go Tech Priest, Malatech, Servitor, Heretic, and a Malatech is just a Tech Priest who fucked up very minorly, whereas Heretic is someone who's like it's like the difference between a heretic and a traitor. A traitor is completely gone, no hope of redemption. A heretic can still be redeemed. Like Malatech is a heretic, Heretic is a traitor.
Okay.
Think of it like that.
Yeah, I just
It's
would.
confusing, but yeah.
I would just relate the group that information.
Not according to Cardinal Beneficta.
So there's the potential that these crimes were done for profit then.
Profit or revenge, it depends really.
I'm seeing a lot of theft here.
True, but then again, remember, it has been a month since the first murder. Either the murderer took it, or the Skitarii has it.
Well, we should probably go back and find out.
Yes.
Okay.
I motion for Gela to lead the way.
I will. By the way, before we leave, what are tools? Like, will we just assume I have them, or do I have to actually buy tools?
There were tools here.
I know. I'm just asking that
There
real
are
quick.
Please.
I know. I'm just asking. Will it be coming just?
Most tech priests, a tool is faith in your hands.
Okay, so I do have tools.
If you wanted to get a combi tool, you'd have to go buy it.
Was there a combi tool in any of the stuff that we went through?
No, when I say tools, I mean like real world tools, like a spanner and a wrench.
Yeah.
It's not really that useful to a tech priest.
Yeah, good point. I am a
Better off with
tool.
a combi tool. A combi tool is literally a drill, wrench, hammer, and everything else you can think of in one.
And I could,
It's better.
if I had 50 throne gelts, I could buy one.
I think they're 250, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, 200. And I think, wait, will I get a discount because I am a tech priest or no?
Huh?
Never mind. I was say, like, would I get a tech discount because tech priests Forge will most likely have them in abundance?
It's you'd be able to find one, but you wouldn't get discounted because then everyone on the planet would get a discount for being a tech priest.
Oh, okay. Just thought
I would spot you 50 thrones if you want to buy a multi-tool.
But then I will have like 3 thrones to my name, and I may need that later.
Yeah.
Let's wait till a bit later, but I will keep that in mind.
Make sure to get one before you get off world, though.
Oh, fuck it. I ain't grabbing one before I get off world.
Yeah.
I may
okay.
even grab augmentations if I can please one of the higher ups. Like, okay, yeah, we'll chop off your legs and give you robot ones. Yay!
Okay. But yeah, where do you want to? Where are you going?
Back to
we're going
Skitari.
back to the servitor. Or,
Skitari.
no, Skitari precinct.
Skitari area, yeah. Okay, so you return there.
Hold on, I kind of object because we do have a new servo skull. He may question us where the heck we got it.
We may drop by our home and I'll order T7 to just kind of guard my room. Or no,
Sure.
just hide like under the desk or whatever. Just go somewhere.
It doesn't have the programming to hide. It can either guard, sentry, or search and destroy. Those are the only 3 things you can tell it to do.
Sentry this room, I guess. Just have it float around the room.
Yeah, so it will now literally just fly around, not really doing anything. It will patrol one end of your room to the other and then repeat. But yeah, you then go back to the Skitari Alpha. The day is beginning to end. You landed in like mid-afternoon, and the day is starting to darken, and the night is long and full of terrors and all that shit. But you walk into the the precinct or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it barracks. So you walk into the Skitari barracks, and immediately the Alpha is like walking towards you as several Skitari have seen you walk in. And he walks up to you and stands in front of you. Anything new that we missed? It's like addressing all of you.
Yeah.
Show him the vial.
Yeah, I guess I'll hand him the vial. Seems
Blood.
And the data slates that go with it.
and the data slate to go with it.
I give him the blood.
Yeah. He takes all of this and like looks it over, begins reading the data slates, and says, "Yes, we had a copy of this information about the chemicals produced." Do you show him the note?
Yeah.
He takes the note and reads it. I didn't know he actually had a completed sample, however.
From what we can tell, the killers...
Had a completed sample.
Yes, had. But from what we can tell, the killers' primary 2 targets were to eliminate the Cyberseer and his group, and take as many samples as he had, possibly using his own servitors to kill off the reclamators and others, seeing how they were willing to open it. The Cyberseer himself were probably killed by a Herotech at some point, seeing how the door was open and he was murdering in a way that a normal servitor probably wouldn't be smart enough to do.
Whoever murdered him probably had strength on par with you,
Oh, did
Just
I
read
take
the-
for
a?
example.
I took a skimming of the boot, right?
A skinning?
You didn't
thought we
declare
brought
it
the
at
vial.
the time.
I thought you just like took a picture of it, or 7 has a copy of it.
Problem is if you show 7, he's going to be like,
Yeah,
interesting tech print. It's an interesting server skill you got there.
yeah, which is why I'm not.
Get it?
T7 staying at home whenever we deal with this Qatari.
Yeah. But yeah, he looks over all of it, and the empty vial and the note especially. And he thinks for a moment and says, well, he just thinks for a very long time. He says, I know we really shouldn't, but would speaking to one of the surviving members help you in any way? And he's like looking at Jacob more because he's the Arbite and he's like the reason you're all able to do all this stuff, but he's addressing all of you.
Yes. Talking to a survivor
nods.
will help me. Tiny.
He nods, says,
Well, maybe
I
knowing
will-
what this project is about.
I will summon one of these. I will summon Electro Priest Vern. He's one of the survivors. He's the last one to see Cyberseer Lyonis.
Any possibility that he was the one to murder him? How heavily augmented is he?
Minorly.
Ah,
Cybernetic arm, leg, 2 mechadendrites. Utility class.
then never mind. He would have been able to use the force of it to kill the Cyberseer. He wouldn't have the strength for it.
Sounds loyal too.
He kind of shrugs. There's Electro Priest Vern we can summon. We can summon Tech Priest Uriah. He's one of our primary suspects, as allegedly he was the one who actually found this. And he, like, raises the vial. However, he's not as augmented. He's not augmented enough to be able to pull something like this off.
What is the third person?
The third is a Reclamator.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah.
Reclamator Plex. He served under Lyonis directly, but then again they all did.
Perhaps we should
And he
bring
just
the,
kind of shrugs.
perhaps we should bring the 2 main ones and say the third one for worst case scenario.
As you wish.
Who should
And he like begins to turn to go and like summon them, but he's like he stops as you begin to say something. He's like as he waits.
I was just gonna ask like who should we bring in first? Oh, like I'm asking our group that.
Oh, you're asking the group. Yeah, he like turns to like he's gonna go and get like both of them, but they're gonna be in 2 different rooms so that you can go and ask one of them first.
Okay. So yeah, I asked who should we look at first?
Most recent, maybe?
The person who found the body, or the person who is more augmented? Which one? Finder or
That
Cyber?
dude.
Okay.
Let's go Electro Priest.
Yep.
Okay then.
Okay. So like 45 minutes goes by. You're all just sat in the waiting room or whatever. Eventually, you see a pair of tech priests walking in, accompanied by some Skitari. They're not like chained up or anything. They're just walking quite nervously inside. They both go into 2 different rooms and sit down. You go into the same room as the Electro Priest. When you get into this room, he's sort of wearing like like half a tunic. He's very like the Electro Priests that Games Workshop sells, so they're like half naked practically. But he's like got bits of metal on his chest, and then on his back. Again, one of his arms is cybernetic, obviously, and he has a pair of utility mechadendrites hanging over his shoulders loosely. He doesn't have any like facial augmentations like the respirator unit or any cybernetic eyes, but you can see the cranial circuitry coming off of his coming off the back of his head. And he looks at all of you as you walk inside. Doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I am terrible with talking to people.
We're here to ask questions.
He looks at you, Daggett, and then looks at continues. Oh, he looks back at Geller and continues to just stare at her. He's going to be one of those.
You could always try the good cop, bad cop thing, except that everyone here is a bad cop
Yeah,
that
but-
will shoot him.
But bear in mind, this isn't an interrogation.
This is a question.
Like he's not a criminal. He's more of a suspect. If you do anything to harm him, the Skitarii can then arrest and kill you for harming an innocent,
Yeah.
potentially an innocent.
Yeah. I'm going to let whoever the hell had the high fellowship try to talk to him. I can't do this. I know I couldn't.
I'm gonna sit down across from him. I'm gonna have Gela sit next to me.
I simply just stand staring at him.
He then diverts his gaze away from you, Geller, and starts looking at you, Daggett, when you sit down.
Do you know anything about these murders?
I know that they happened.
Any idea why?
Shrugs.
Interesting. I don't have I don't have any notepad or anything, right?
You have a data
Yeah.
slip, more or less.
I do.
You could use Geller's data slate if you want.
Alright, yeah.
I
I've got
probably took
Gela-
some from the cyber seed that were just blank. Like, okay, here's
Yeah,
another data
there was a
slate.
couple. There was enough that each of you can have one data slate each.
One extra
Okay.
data slate.
I got my data slate out, and when he says that bullshit answer, I fake taking a note on it.
It's just wiggle your fingers at it.
So, how
Yeah.
familiar were you with the Cyberseers project?
He turns to you, look at you, Mordecai, very methodically and slowly, and says, "Those vials, they helped the blueprint design for it. Wasn't hard. We used an original STC that we discovered thousands of years ago to recreate these vials, strong enough not to cause the interior to dry out. It's
How
not hard.
close were you to finishing this experiment?
Leonis said he was making a breakthrough that evening that he disappeared and died.
I noticed.
He told me to deliver the extra vials to his room, but when I got there, he was dead. I called the Skitarii immediately after. You can go and ask them.
Why do you think they killed him?
How should I know?
I don't know. You were
It's
working,
very-
you
I
were
don't
working
know, I
on
mean-
the project.
I don't know. I mean, he ran his laboratory the same way a dictator might run a planet.
So you think this was revenge?
He just sort of shrugs. He limited our work. We weren't exactly able to complete our work and have it in on time and everything. Plus, he used reclamators. I mean, who uses a... Servitors are more proficient at this kind of job.
Hmm.
Could have ruled so much better than him, but they chose him to be the Cyberseer.
That must be infuriating.
It is, but it is the Omnissiah's will that I remain as an electoral priest, and I have to just like this.
Very well. Do you know anyone else that would harbor grudges against him?
Uriah would. I mean, his work was taken from him by Big Man Lionis.
Very well. Do you mind if I have a look at your boot real quick?
Roll a fellowship test. At like plus 30. Since you're big and scary. But also calm. Yeah, he just simply lifts his leg onto the table. His human leg.
Oh, I
You
thought
can see his boot.
I was about to say, like, he takes off his leg and just plunks it down the table.
He takes off his cybernetic leg and just rams it on.
He just fucking turned into Rocket Raccoon there.
Yeah. No, he lifts his leg up and puts it on the table. Shows you his boot. His boot is not even really a boot. It's more of a sandal.
So it's not a match?
No, it's more
Not
of a
even
boot.
close.
Very well.
Yeah. He wears more of a Jesus boot rather than that.
Could always try the other one.
And the other?
Yeah.
Lifts his cybernetic leg. It's imagine the foot of a T100.
Is the boot a match?
No.
No, it's a foot. He has like a proper like human foot, but robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
Very well then.
He looks at you and just says, "Am I done here? I have more important things I need to get back to."
Would he have a copy of the incompleted recipe? Or no?
Want to ask him that?
Ask him, man.
I will, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and ask it then.
I just that's what I say. I just simply asked, will you have a copy of the included recipe?
He looks at you for a moment. I have my own work on the recipe. And he like does quotation marks around the word recipe. The formula, as we call it, my version is nearly done. The version Lionis told me to work on.
Ah, may I see it?
I don't have it on me. I'm gonna have to go back to my workstation and get it.
Perhaps we'll assist you.
Yes.
If you must. He then like stands up and begins to like exit, but he's kind of like he wants to look like tough and like a hard man, but he wants you to open the door and go first because he's like, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to leave.
Okay, who wanna?
I opened the door for him, and I'm staying close behind him.
So you're going with us to his house, or whatever
Yeah.
he lives. Okay. So we're all leaving, and we're just leaving that one guy alone with this Qatari.
We should probably tell him to tell the Skitari to keep that guy there until we get back.
I was on.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will by default.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vern then leads you outside of the precinct and into his hablock. This is the same hablock as the Cyberseer died in, and where they all lived collectively.
Fuck, we could just walk out the door and just looked at him.
Yeah. So he goes up the stairs. As he goes up the stairs, you notice there's someone wearing red robes. You got to identify them as a reclamator. Gala. Vern walks by him and leaves says some binary at him. They have like a brief exchange before Vern continues walking off. What you get from that is, can you roll me a secret tongue tech? Is what you get from it.
God damn it! How many secret tongue techs do I have to roll today?
You're
We're gonna get a.
You'd get used to it.
Oh god! Any bonuses? Since I've been doing this so much, I'm pretty sure I have a good idea on how they're wording it. I think.
You won't get any bonuses because you're not right next to them, and they're having a standard conversation. Anyway, yeah, you pass it. From what you gather, Vern says something along the lines of, good to see you again, Plex. Haven't seen you in a while. And
Wait,
Plex
hold on,
respo-
isn't
Yeah, Reclamator Plex is the other third survivor.
isn't he
He's the
supposed to be?
We didn't ask for him.
Well, I didn't.
You didn't ask him, no. You summoned Vern and Uriah. Plex you didn't summon at all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This is Plex because I'm not really listening.
Yeah,
You don't even understand what they're
understand any
saying.
of it anyway. This is just Gala. And Plex just responds with, "What? Yeah. I came to collect my samples. I've been transferred." And Vern's just like, "Alright, whatever, weirdo." And just walks off back to his room. The Reclamator then goes into his own room and starts fiddling around with something in there. Vern then leads you to his room, opens it up. It's a mess. He clearly did not keep. Well, he was clearly forced out of his room by the Skitari when Lionis was killed, because he's a suspect and whatnot. But he goes over and picks up a data slate and hands it to you, Daggett, since you're the one following behind.
I take it.
It's all in binary, so I assume you hand it together.
And I take it.
Yep. In it is pretty much the exact same of what you found on Lionis's data slates. How the formula is nearly done. Although his is a bit more annotated. Like he's put quotation marks around Lionis's name whenever he's put Lionis's formula. It seems he's a bit disgruntled by it. And there's also some like side notes that are all like my formula would have worked better. It would have worked faster. But no, I had to stick with Lionis's formula. And again, the quotation mark.
It seems you.
What does this thing
Certainly-
even do?
It allows them to inject nano cleansers into the bloodstream, if I remember correctly.
That was the original idea, yes.
Original idea?
Of course, we've been ordered to convert it by the High Fabricator, but I'm not allowed to tell you.
Of course not. That would be too easy.
It may pertain to our investigation, though. I think you can assume we have clearance.
I can assume you have clearance when the High Fabricator tells me you have clearance. Although, Gela, you are currently holding the blueprints to this. You could figure it out if you roll a logic at -20. You could literally look at it and goes, I know exactly what it is. You just need to pass this test.
Oh fuck! A -20.
Yeah.
I am going to push
It's not
for.
exactly obvious to you as a biologist. But you never know.
I mean, when I get a bonus, because I like understand base. Oh shit! Never mind. Base.
Why do you think it's -20 and not 40?
Oh yeah. Please, not 1 or 2. Ah!
That's 100.
Fate point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to fate point that? Because otherwise...
Did you fucking roll 100?
He did.
Okay.
That is the worst roll you have ever made in any of the games I have ever played with you.
What the? Because I'm pretty sure I would just drop it by accident. What did I?
No, I think you would have.
Killer, you look at it, you try scrolling, you accidentally hit the wipe data button, and
Yeah, never
you
mind,
erase
never mind.
everything that's on the data
Yep,
state.
I'm fate pointing that. Fate point. Fate point.
I say you would have an impromptu combat at that rate. No, okay, yeah, you can't make heads or tails of it.
That's
It's a bit
lot
like
better.
you're like, fuck if I know.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess. Can I roll ANTC to convince him to tell us what it is?
How would you like to convince him to tell you what it is?
With the way I went, can I do a fellowship roll off of that?
The way you went,
I told him that he should assume that we have clearance because it pertains to our investigations.
yeah, that would be more like an intimidate or something like that.
I don't think I was trying to scare him.
No, but you're basically trying to say, I have clearance, you'll tell me.
Don't be scared.
It's not.
little one.
It's not really an assume I have it test.
1 second. I need to grab
Well,
my.
that would be deceive, actually.
Hmm?
Don't worry, you go.
Yeah, I'm about to
Maybe
go
I
get
could
my.
roll deceive if I. could think
This
out
is
more of it.
explicitly Daggett doing this.
Yeah,
I know.
I would do deceive instead of
Yeah, so why don't you
trying to scare-
roll? Why don't
trying
you
to
roll
lie.
a deceive at -10 because you're not exactly convincing to him in the first place. But you know, he just looks at you and just shakes his head like, no, I won't assume anything until the High Fabricator has shown me.
Roll20 apparently hates everyone today.
I'm gonna quickly look at Jacob.
He appears to be distracted by like a light fixture.
I facepalm.
What
He
happened?
got 2 degrees of failure on his intelligence, so he's literally just staring at a light fixture, just going, I wonder what powers a light.
Wait, who did what now?
It's electricity, you jackass.
Oh my. What?
Jacob is basically like staring at a flickering light, just like wondering why it's flickering.
Okay.
Filled with complete bewilderment.
Okay, I'm just going to ask. Brother, I have seen both your notes and the Cyberseer's notes. I could put the pieces together myself, well, you may tell me. I just wish to know. I will not tell the fleshlings a secret of the Mechanicus, and I'm speaking in binary so the other won't understand my ass.
Yeah.
Assume most time I'm speaking, unless it's to the group, I'm speaking in binary.
Yeah, I assume so. So why don't you roll me a fellowship at +20?
Yay.
As he's all priesty and shit.
Fuck!
God damn it, Connor.
I'm fairly sure that's a 99. You insult him in 6 different ways, and he just begins to scowl at you. And he says the Mechanicus equivalent of "fuck off"
Okay, I don't. I think it's.
Yeah, I
without
think
saying those words. He's just sort of saying something like "frack off."
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's. We've overstayed our welcome. Copy the data or something. Like
How fast would
actually,
it be
no,
for me
that's
to...
not a bad idea.
Yeah, how
that's
fast
not
would
a
it take me
terrible
to
idea.
copy it?
It would be a tech use test at -30 because you're trying to do this relatively discreetly.
Actually, I think.
And he's literally right in front of you. Like,
Yeah.
he can visibly see you copying his data. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, I won't do that
Actually,
unless
I've
someone
got
want to distract
Excuse me,
him.
I have a plan. I'm going to ask him questions, like a lot of questions.
You're gonna use a blather skill, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to.
Okay, roll your blather, and I will oppose it.
If he can
I'm
distract him,
I'm gonna roll a regular D100 rather than a. Actually, no, I'm gonna do a secret roll.
I would-
Secret rolls are fun.
take the risk of doing
Any-
this.
Any modifiers or no?
I'd
I'm-
give you a +10.
Because he doesn't want to look at whatever.
No,
Uh,
it's just because he thinks you're being genuine instead of trying to blather.
Yeah, because I am also trying to actually see if I can't find anything like.
He's prodding
blather
him
won't-
with simple questions.
Blather won't get you any accurate information. It literally just get you one-word answers like yes, no, shut up, leave me alone.
In that order.
Exclusively in that order, yeah.
Okay, let's see how this turns out.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey,
Not bad. He rolled almost double his ability to notice anything. So yeah, you have him blathered.
Okay.
And Geller, you can copy the data
Normally.
just with a. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll because Mordecai's got you covered.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm a tech priest. I know. I've done this like 6 times today already.
Okay,
you've done this 100 times today alone.
And that's not me even trying. So,
Yeah. So basically, Mordecai is pissing him off whilst Geller decides to like dick around with data slates and whatnot.
Actually,
Eventually, Geller probably gives you a thumbs up or something, and you're just like, oh.
I'm just sort of barraging him with questions relating to detail. At first, it seems like genuine interrogation, but eventually it just seems like I'm just asking whatever, trying to pry at any little detail, and it's just going from. It's just getting really annoying because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and I'm just going on and on like, okay, and so like this and that, and then what? And
you ask him how do
what?
light bulbs work.
Yeah, you ask him with the assistance of Jacob, how do light bulbs work? He's all like, well, electricity flow. You know, you get the picture.
Yeah, I've gotten distracted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around the apartment, just visually investigating things.
Sure. Give me an awareness with sight.
Yeah. So I'll just add. What would this be count as? Second copy of recipe?
Put it as Vern's copy of formula or recipe or whatever you saved it as.
Okay.
Looking around the room with a quick glance, Daggett, aside from what I mentioned earlier about it being more or less a complete mess, there doesn't appear to be much in the way of anything in there. You can see the type of armament he would use if he was out on the he has his own personal defense gear and whatnot. So he has you can see he has a las pistol in a holster on the side of his on his bed. As well as his little electro flails that they use when they go to war, but they look old and unused.
Oh, damn! I want
Okay.
I mean, I could take it. I could ask if I could have it, but I doubt he'll let me have it.
He won't let you have it. He won't let you have it because it's the equivalent of asking a sister of battle for her bolt gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor tried that. It didn't happen.
No.
And it won't happen here with this guy's
No.
electro flails.
I didn't ask for your bolt gun. I asked, could I get a copy of a Gamer Diaz bolt gun? I couldn't remember it was
It's kind of the same answer. No.
Yeah, because I forgot if wait was it only Sisters of Battle who can have it, or only females who can have it? I couldn't remember.
It's only Sisters of Battle that have that class of bolt weapon.
Yeah. Pet the kitten, pet the kitten, pet the kitten.
Anyway. So yeah, this guy gets visibly annoyed at pretty much all of you. More so Mordecai than anyone.
All right, I can tell when my welcome's overstaying. If Gela is done with the data slate, I'll probably take it away and hand it back to him. Say goodbye.
I was done 5 minutes after you, 5 minutes before you started talking. I just let you talk because I wanted to listen.
It amused him.
It amused me.
It amused her to see him getting pissed. Anyway,
Hand the data slate over. Let's get out of here, cause yeah.
he just goes inside of his room. By the time you're walking back, you can see the same reclamator has put a rucksack on with all of his notes and whatnot in it, and he's making his way outside as well.
Should we question him?
Yeah, right now.
I know.
I was just thinking about doing that too.
Because he seemed pretty skittish, even if I don't understand what the fuck he's saying.
As I see him getting ready to go, I'm just gonna holler down to him. Halt, citizen.
Yeah, that'll set him off.
He stops and turns around
I'll be right
and
back.
just calmly watches you guys approach.
Gela
Yes,
rolls
right.
her eyes when I hear that. Oh God, no.
And the reclamator then just looks at you, Daggett, and just says, "What do you need? I'm in a bit of a hurry." He's saying this in low Gothic.
We're
He's looking at his chrono constantly, as if he's got somewhere else he needs to be.
we don't
He looks at you and says, "Can you be quick? Transport leaves in about 30 minutes.
Where are you going?
Been transferred to a research facility on the outskirts."
Oh, nice. Can you tell me anything about the project you've been working on?
He thinks for a moment and says, "Did he not tell you anything?" And he gestures down the hallway to the Electro Priest.
He was difficult to talk to.
He told me his version.
Oh, what was that? Sorry.
He told me his version.
Make a deceive test. Okay. So yeah, he like looks at you and says, "No, he didn't. I heard the whole conversation. He said he couldn't tell you, and neither can I. We've been sworn to secrecy by the Eye Fabricator, or at least
Well,
that's what they tell me."
He said he couldn't tell me what the what the new modification of the project was. I was just inquiring as to what kind of work you were doing.
As they're
with the
talking,
project.
I'm just looking through his notes, trying to figure out what the hell kind of weapon project this was.
Who,
I'm
the
yeah.
Electro Priest?
Yeah, I'm taking 20 more or less. I'm taking as long as I need just to kind of look through this and just occasionally listening in.
Okay, you roll me a logic at plus 10, and then yeah, continue, Dylan. What did you ask? Sorry, I got sidetracked.
I was telling him that
You just wanted to know what he was doing.
Yay!
What his
yeah, what he did on the project. I wasn't asking him about the classified information.
Yeah. So he looks at you and says, well, we Reclamators, we had a similar job to Servitors when we were serving under Lionus before his end. Our job was simple. Take the tools to him, carry the crates around, generally dealing with his bureaucracy, handling the paperwork, deliveries, making sure everything got sent. It's good work, I guess.
From some of your colleagues, that's a little bit above the function of a reclamator. Do you have any idea why you preferred reclamators to servitors?
I don't think, Dylan, you were thinking what I was thinking.
He looks at you and says, the Cyberseer, Lionus, he was a bit more personal than some of the other Cyberseers and Magoses. He preferred workers he could actually talk with and compare ideas with, whereas a Servitor, the most you can get out of them is an affirmative.
Understood.
Whereas a Reclamator, some of the other Reclamators would give him, hints where to go, or their input and ideas, and sometimes he would listen, and sometimes he would not be very friendly with us. But I mean, it's not our place to demand anything.
Sounds like you have rather neutral feelings of the man.
You know, he kept me busy. He just looks at you. Yeah, he kept me busy. What do you want?
Could always ask to see what's in his pack.
We'll get to that. Basically, once we get to that, it's pretty much a hostile action against him, so he'll be a lot less cooperative once we get there.
So,
Yeah.
do I figure? Yeah, with that success, do I know what the hell they were doing?
With 1.9 rounded up to 2, sort of, they were effectively re-engineering the nanocyber's blood decontamination units to perform some other action of some kind. Rather than decontaminating blood, it was designed to do something else. His notes are largely incomplete, though, and it's a bit hard to really get a firm idea of what they were planning on doing.
But I can at least now have a better idea when I'm comparing the two notes and trying to figure this out. Since
Yeah, they were effectively more or less turning obviously they were turning the nanocyber's blood decontamination units into some kind of weapon, as classified weapon. But from what you've gathered, it's definitely probably some kind of gas, like a chemical weapon of some kind.
huh.
That's just like your your hypothesis, your guess, your best guess.
So why do you think the others were murdered?
The other reclamators, I don't really know. I mean, kind of anxious. Might be next, after all.
Why would you suspect that?
I'm the only reclamator left, and unless he goes after Vern or Uriah, I mean, they're fairly higher up. I mean, if I die, I mean, really, what happens? They get replaced within a week. Whereas if Vern or Uriah dies, that's an entire neural cortex gone.
You think Vern and Uriah are in danger?
He shrugs. Vern may be hot-headed. He might not have liked Lyonis, but he's a devout member of the Mechanicum. I mean, he reads the Credo Omnissiah 6 times a day and recites it aloud whenever he works. It's hard to get to sleep with him around. And Uriah, I mean, his work may have been stolen, but he's as loyal as me or her. And he gestures to Geller. Does his incantations daily. I mean, me? What do? I literally just fetch tools.
Speaking of which, what's in the bag?
Oh, you know, just last of what my belongings were.
Mind if I have a look? As I'm asking him, I'm putting my hand on the strap.
Yeah, he takes a strap. He takes the bag and just says, "Sure, have a look." Inside are several bits of well, not bits of paper, obviously, but several data slates.
I give the data slates over to Gela.
Yeah. Geller, these all appear to be like personal diary entries of anything. They're all like day 8,206. Today I carried tool supplement B27 over to fucking, I don't know, you know, that kind of thing. It's more or less just, today I did this, tomorrow I will do this, and then next day, today I did this, tomorrow I'll do this, etc.
So nothing hidden amongst the words.
Nothing that you would suspect him, like nothing like, today I will kill Lyonis and fap off to Slanesh. Oh yes, no, nothing like that. It's more just today I delivered the tools to Lyonis. Tomorrow I will
take up the
take the crate supplement to Vern or something.
Okay.
That's actually a fair question. Can tech priests worship Slanesh if they go heretic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can
Artesians, man. Artesians. They want to create the perfect machine. Perfection is Slanesh's deal.
I'm just going to call them Japanese, just for simplicity's sake.
Not you too. Anyway.
Not you too? Okay, you what?
I know a lot of people. But anyway. Yeah. He kind of like anxiously continues looking at his chrono. And he like bobs a little bit. You can tell he really needs to get going, basically.
All right, let's just let him go.
I give him back the bag.
I give him 2 thrown gelts for his cooperation.
2 thrones.
I mean, it's nothing, but it's something. Like, here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he takes it and gives you his best attempt at the cog sign, and he proceeds to go down the he takes his bag back and goes down the stairs.
I look him in the eye. Be seeing you.
He nods, smiles, and says, "And you." And he proceeds to walk off. Although he actually does start beginning to run because he's looking at his chrono and he mumbles something and he's like something along the lines of, "Oh shit, I'm late," and he proceeds to like run because you know.
Well, that was interesting.
Has to get to his ship.
I'm
You notice, do you like continue watching him as he runs off, or are you just gonna say, fuck it, let him go and walk
Yeah,
off?
no, I watched him as he ran. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a polite be seeing you around either. It was more of a we'll be talking again.
Yeah. As he runs off, you notice like a tech priest and a servitor walking along next to him. And the servitor like just stops and stands still, stares at the reclamator for a moment, and then just turns and continues walking off with what's his name? Well,
A tech
Tech Priest A.
Huh. Odd.
I think this might need some looking into.
Well, let's
Yes.
follow him then.
Okay.
Yeah. So following him, I guess it's fair to say, are you following him discreetly or overtly?
Discreetly.
I'm a tech reader. I'll just pull up
Okay.
my hood and just like, okay, I'm walking this direction.
So anyone who wants to follow him, anyone who wants to follow him discreetly will need to give me a concealment test. If you don't want to follow him, then don't worry about it.
I will do shittily on concealment.
Let's
so.
see. It's 1 point higher than silent movement. I can't. I'm a fucking tech freak.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I don't even
I'll
need
leave it to the others.
Daggett's on point.
Fuck it.
Fucking scum.
Yeah, no.
You
Um,
run into a
so Daggett-
servitor.
You're following him discreetly, however, your associates are not. He turns around and does actually notice you all following. However, he speeds up. He turns around and all you see is a shit face and immediate sprinting.
Can we put together that?
Nice.
Wait, is he
Let's
heading?
go.
Is he headed towards the actual?
He's heading towards the spaceport.
I sprint to pursue.
Didn't he say he was
Okay.
transferring to? Wait, didn't he say he was getting transferred to another facility?
He said he
he
was
is.
getting transported somewhere outside of the city.
Yes. He didn't say off planet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
But in that
Draw-
last together, Gella's going to
So
start hauling
draw-
ass.
I'm gonna
Oh,
micro beat Gela.
Oh, let's run down. Why not?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna micro beat Gela. Vox the Scutarii were in active pursuit of the suspect.
also
Yeah.
just for being certain, I will have my pistols ready.
Wait, can I just walk to the Skitar and ask him real quick? Does Reclamator blah blah blah? Is he transferring to another location outside of the city? Can I do that real quick?
So as you're running, you're like voxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They confirm that he is scheduled to be transferred.
Off world.
No, he's being transferred to a facility outside of this primary area.
And you had to go to the spaceport to do it?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Then I just
You have to go to the spaceport because unless you want to walk across the fucking radioactive wasteland that is a Forge world, you fly there.
No, because
Either way, him running after spotting us is
Yeah, that's-
still pretty fucking suspicious.
Yeah.
That's why I told you to Vox them that we're chasing.
So
him.
I don't think you guys can catch up to him because he has a run that is way higher due to his sprint talent.
Oh fuck.
So I think the fastest you can go is Daggett at 24. However, he is moving at 36. So basically, by the time you catch up to him, you effectively see his shuttle beginning to take off, as well as like a pair of Skitari who are like aiming their guns up at the shuttle and like shouting at it in binary. However, they're not opening fire, and a lot of people looked panicked. By the time you all gather up again.
Son of a gun.
I
What?
looked at the Scutari.
I could
Get us a ship to follow that damn thing.
just to be on the safe side.
The two Skitari nod, and they go over and start getting you a shuttle of some kind.
I'm starting to think they might. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask in character, but I'm starting to suspect that they know we're Inquisition. I mean, fuck, they're the Mechanicus. They probably figured it out and just haven't said anything.
It's the Mechanicus. They know everything. Either A, they know we're Inquisition, or B, they just assume we're trying to help this investigation. Let's not give two fucks. It's one
More
or the other.
importantly, do you want to go back and get T7?
How long would that take?
40 minutes, give or take.
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck that.
Failing that, he does have a built-in comm bead. So if you're willing to wait, he can come to you, basically.
How long will that take?
Considering he's flying and he has a run of 24, it'll take 2 minutes.
Yeah, I just walks in and just tell him.
Like, he doesn't fly through the street. He levitate. He his gravity booster flies him above everyone, and he just zooms straight over the crowds.
I'm assuming
Like
the
over
others,
the building, and it just comes like dives in front of you, Geller.
I'm pretty sure the other guitar don't know whether I do or don't have a service goal, so they won't care.
Oh, these two are like port guards.
So they wouldn't
They
know.
only just got informed that you guys are allowed to like do all this shit.
So they don't know or care.
No, it's a tech priest with a servo skull. Why would they care?
Good point. Okay, I have 7. Yay. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
by the time 7 gets there, like the shuttle is ready.
Yeah, the shuttle is ready to go.
Okay, I hop in the shuttle with 7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Chip.
You'll get in the shuttle. I assume this is like as the shuttle like closes and takes off, you're all like getting your guns out, like checking the magazines of them all, cocking their guns, taking the safeties off, getting everything ready to go.
That
Yeah.
depends. Is a servitor flying us or a person?
It's a pair of servitors.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I just checked my guns. It's fucking servitors. They
Yeah.
don't know shit. What to do, but
Darn it. I should have picked up more ammo. All I have is, like,
I think
clip
you have
for
about
my...
I think you have about 30 bullets and then another 18 for the pistol.
After that,
After that, you're relying on a knife.
oh wait, I just realized something. I have the
club.
notes of Teresa's pistol. I have to make one. Could I make one when I get back? And if I take the armorer's trait,
You wouldn't know how to necessarily make one. You'd know how to modify.
well,
one.
modify one, of course. Yeah, modify.
You would need to compact a las pistol and then get all of the specific spare parts, as well as have like a gunsmithing laboratory that you can use.
Does Teresa still want her other last pistol?
You can have it just for now. I want it back later.
Assuming you take the charge pack out, you'll have what, like 50 shots?
Yeah.
Las pistol. Although saying that, because the Palatine is a compact las pistol, the clip is a smaller unit than your regular las pistol, so it might be a bit weird.
I don't want to use it. I just plan to modify it later. That's the only
Fine.
thing. I wanna
Later you can modify it, but just don't break it.
I shall not damage the machine spirit.
Wait, is Gilla asking me this now as we're chasing that guy?
I'm pretty sure we'll ask you that on the. No.
Because I'm gonna say if you're asking now, like she would probably be like, seriously now?
No, I probably would have asked that back in the building, more or less.
Alright.
The idea hit me.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're not moving on very far. Yeah, the shuttle takes off and flies you off. And we're actually gonna end with the shuttle flying off into the distance and taking you towards the Reclamator's little den.
Ah.
And yeah, the end of session 1 of season 2 of Dark Heresy. Oh, it's
More like
glorious.
in the season 1, because the first one was like a season 0, because we didn't get too far in.
Yeah, it was a practice run.
Yes, so we got no.
Just from the stories, it reminds me of the anime Gare Zero, where it's like the first episode, you think these people are the main characters throughout this entire series, yet at the end of that very first episode, they all die. And you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then, I'm guessing you'll want your little treat. Your little 200 XP for coming along.
Okay.
We'll also have to inform Jacob that he has, or Josh, that he has 200 XP as well.